welcome to the most horse-powerful podcast on the internet, the Xbox Drive. Before we get this show on the road, please take a moment to like, subscribe, and ring that bell on YouTube, and leave a 5-star rating or review on your podcatcher of choice. If you want to continue the conversation after the show, make sure you join the Carpool Gaming Discord. For exclusive content and all the Carpool shows in one simple feed, head over to patreon.com/carpoolgaming. Finally, head over to carpoolgaming.com for all of your merch needs. Now, with all that out of the way, you better buckle up, Buttercup, because it's time for the Xbox Drive.
No power greater than X.
What's up, everybody? It is us, the Xbox Drive, here to drive on in to episode 355 of the Xbox Drive. Hello, everyone. This is one of your co-hosts, Fee, back at it again. Not in white Vans because I don't wear sneakers in the house, but we're here and we're here to party. Bowsah, how's it going?
It's going fantastic. I was off work today, so it is a good day.
I saw that. You were streaming up a storm over on our Twitch channel.
I was streaming up a bit.
Man, I'm excited to talk about a certain game that you've been playing. Either way, we'll get into that. The person who I have such a great friendship with, Mitch, how's it going?
I'm good, Fee. How you doing? Show's going great so far. I mean, spot on time, no tech problems, none of those things. But no, I'm good. I didn't have as good of a day as Bowsah, though, I didn't have the day off work. Still had to deal with that. But good things on the horizon, fun things on the horizon. Looking forward to stuff.
Okay.
Can't wait. Yeah.
How about you, Fee? How you doing?
Oh, I'm doing well. Getting into the spooky season vibe. I mean, I live spooky season year round, but I'm here for it. I'm here to talk about all things spooky. And you know what? I might need to walk off my camera for a quick second because my cat's sitting at the door crying and making way too much noise for this podcast.
Cat's not sitting at the door. Cat's right there. I can see it.
I have 2 cats.
All right. Well, the black one for spooky season looks like it's being very good, just sitting on top of the tower.
Exactly. For context, everyone, I have 2 cats. One of them is currently glaring at my other cat who's currently in the hallway, acting like, why are you not paying attention to me? And so for that reason, as much as I would love cat commentary for this podcast, we'll see. We'll see. Either way.
Your black cat is like a paid actor for spooky season. You're like, cat, sit here.
You stay
Watch over me the whole episode because it's spooky season. There you go.
Yes, exactly. We're here for it. My goodness.
Well,
Totally
if you want to take care of cats, I could probably take care of something else in the meantime.
Housekeeping.
The housekeeping lady is here. We got a lot of stuff going on.
So much.
We got some new patrons. So thank you to Hot Gamer Boy Summer for joining as a free member.
That's my alias. You're welcome. I'm just kidding.
Well, thank you for also following on Twitch today.
Yeah, thanks.
Thank you, Solo, so much for upgrading to the Platinum Producer tier. Thanks to TechMike for upgrading to Ultimate Producer.
Dang.
Thanks to McBeal for joining Exclusive tier. And thanks to Ginsu3000 for sticking around at the Exclusive tier after their free trial.
Hey, they couldn't get through all that content.
They did not make it through, so they had
They
to
tried.
pay
They
the money.
failed.
We got them. We dangle a
got
little
ya.
piece in front of you, lure you in, and then you got to buy.
And they're itching
That's
their
how
neck
it
for works.
works.
more Xbox Drive. You know what I'm saying? They're just like,
Yes, that's right.
Where's all this
Yeah.
pants podcast? Oh.
Yep.
If you don't look at me with those judgmental eyes, stop. Stop. For video listeners who haven't, go look at the video and look at the way Fee's looking at me right now. It's ridiculous. But go on. I'm sorry, Bowsah.
All right. Massive thank you to Brian Reese for an incredibly generous direct contribution to Extra Life. You are awesome. That fuels our efforts to get to Extra Life, like all of us there, and having a place to sleep and hang out and make content, have a good time. So we really appreciate that. It also helps to support us getting couches and the tech setup that we need to stream for 24 hours. It's going to be awesome this year. Mitch, you're going to miss out. Sorry
For
about
these
your
two
luck.
people, not for me,
Yep.
unfortunately. Yeah.
Yep.
Sorry.
Reminder that it is currently September on Twitch. So you get 25% off subscriptions on Twitch. And that money also helps our Extra Life efforts for the year. So and don't forget, if you have Amazon Prime, you have a free Prime sub. So it doesn't even cost you any money to drop that over on Carpool Gaming Live. And when we're live on Twitch, you can gift merch from our merch shop. And people in chat can enter the giveaway to win it, which is super cool.
Love that.
Recent Patreon content. Fee was on pants. Had an excellent 10 out of 10 episode. And Ryan is up next.
Thank you.
If you haven't yet, check out the Campfire podcast with Seth, Fee, and myself.
Wonder what y'all had a chat about.
God only knows, because I don't remember.
Bowsah did so much content, it just all blurs together. She doesn't even realize. She's like, I've done this stream, I've done this podcast. I have that.
We talked about really hot topics like the Olympics.
We did talk about the Olympics.
We talked about television shows, performances. We talked about Dolly Parton. The rest of it, you have to go listen to the podcast.
You gotta get in that exclusive tier.
Exactly. Side note, weird thing. I went to Walmart to go buy some like celebration stuff, which I'll get into later why I was celebrating. But all of a sudden there was a whole section, and I don't know if this is just at my Walmart or other ones. There was a whole Dolly Parton section of like plates,
she's like
napkins and all that
and stuff.
Yeah. And I'm not hating on it. Good for you, Dolly. But I was just like, out of all things that take shelf space at Walmart, Dolly Parton's got premier shelf space.
Buy it all for my birthday party.
Yeah, I'm just saying. I just thought it was crazy. I was like, huh, things I didn't think I would see in the birthday owl. But yeah, good for you, Dolly Parton.
Good for her. And because it's September, we want to celebrate gifted subs. BobLoblaw gifted 10, Tim Paullin with 5, Tony Baker with 5, Yon32 with 5, and Rizzle2929 with 5. So thank you very much. We are more than halfway to our goal of subs for the month of September. So thank you very much. We appreciate all the support. I think that is all for the housekeeping.
Housekeeping?
Wow. Thanks, housekeeping.
Currently 37 away from the goal. So if you guys are watching on Twitch and you guys have not already done so,
get over there and
it's cheaper.
It's
cheaper.
Opportunity.
Yep.
Thanks to Valorant, it's cheaper.
Yeah.
Whatever. Anybody Valorant September?
It is. Yeah.
Last year was Geico. Like, I don't know. Just weird advertising.
Isn't it like the Valorant championships right now? Because I saw that they just had a performance last week or this week. I don't remember.
Yeah, probably somewhere.
Yeah.
Definitely a thing. I don't know. I don't. Out of all things, you'd be like, hey, Mitch, you play FPSs all the time. It's the one I don't. You know why? Because I was going to say it's only on PC, but now it's on console. So I don't have that excuse. I just haven't tried it yet.
Maybe it's going to be like your favorite game.
It could be.
What
or it could be the game that makes me tilt because I hear a bunch of people play that game and get real angry. So,
I mean, a bunch of people play COD and get real angry, but
that's true.
There you are.
Don't you get really angry just playing Apex? Isn't that just on brand?
I digress. The point is, I get angry a lot all the time. I'm not another reason to get angry. It's not like I played Elden Ring and tried my real hardest not to get mad and definitely smashed my desk. But, you know, it's all good. Don't worry about it.
Yeah. Well, you know what? On the topic of games that we've been playing, Mitch.
Yeah.
Elden Ring. How's that going?
Okay. So I've been really trying these rageless streams of Elden Ring. I try to understand the game. I try to understand that like I die for a very particular reason and not because of some BS. However, BS does be happening and I do get angry. I'm still progressing through the game, which I'm having fun with. I've gotten to a couple areas where, again, I'm just trying to like learn some new areas. But I have to admit, when I'm struggling to level up and then I lose my ruins and then I go back to them and some enemy out of nowhere who I don't see coming just hits me and I die and I lose all my ruins, I just want to cry tears. Or I get really angry and I smash my desk. That's what's been happening. And I say a lot of words I can't say on this show. But Buzz, again, my Elden Ring shaman, Buzz.
Of course.
He was there And he was nice enough to kind of tell me, hey, you're kind of good enough to go to this area where a lot of people like to farm ruins. And it makes it real easy. So that's kind of what I did. I went to a certain area. I started killing a bunch of these little assassin dudes that give me 1,000 ruins each. And I straight up was like, oh, I literally could spend 4 hours here just doing this and get leveled up rather quickly. Will I do that on stream? Probably not, because it's kind of boring, for watching me 4 hours just kill these things. But as soon as I started dying there, I'm like, I didn't feel as bad losing all my ruins. So I was like, yay, I can just get these back rather quickly instead of literally going through this castle, dying here, and then going back to get them and dying and screaming and cussing and all that stuff. But no, like I still am having fun with it. I definitely feel like for a while that will be my single player game. Like I just feel like that's going to be the game that I just kind of go back to for a while. I don't think I'm anywhere close to beating it at all. I feel there's still so much for me to do. And there's weapons that I finally like leveled up now to where I can use this cool samurai sword. That's like really nice. And I should start exploring some different weapons because I didn't realize literally like every weapon in that game has like unique things about them that are kind of cool. So I should start kind of checking those out more. But having fun with Elden Ring quite a bit. And then other than that, Apex Apexing this weekend was a rough weekend, but it's okay. It's fine. We'll get back. And then we played the Black Ops 6 beta, which I did have fun with. The direction, the Omni movement, which by the way, I hate you, whoever coined that term. I hate you so much because I said it a bunch.
You do
and
say
marketing worked. Marketing worked. I said it like all the time. I legit hate the person who came up with that word, but it's okay because you just made me feel like a Call of Duty shill just saying it over and over and over again. But in reality, it's actually really good. Like it actually does change the game a lot. Like the movement that you can do, the diving, like you can literally run this way and just dive right to get out of the way of fire if you want to. Like quick, you can dive any direction you want. You can dive backwards. The amount of slide, like it's just the movement in the game is insane. It is a bit more sweaty though, because once people get really good with it, it's gonna be insane. Like trying to shoot these people. That's the only thing I'm like, okay, it's really nice, but it's gonna be sweaty. But the beta was fun. The guns were cool. We found a couple guns that were kind of OP, using them quite a bit. I'm very excited to see what that looks like in Warzone. That's my thing. Like the multiplayer is fun and I don't dislike it, but I'm just BR is way more fun and it's way more challenging and it's way more exciting to get a win in a BR rather than just a normal multiplayer game. Although we had a lot of fun. We did the podcast after show last week with us, me, Bowsah, and Sean playing Call of Duty. Had to mute some people because they were saying some awful things. It's okay. It was real bad.
Don't worry. Play that game 5 minutes, and I was being told through my ears that women aren't supposed to be playing this game.
Yeah,
even though they didn't know I was the woman. I don't know who they were talking to, but
I don't know who they were talking to either. But I was just like, good old COD being sexist and terrible. Great job. There's also new features in the game that I've already seen clips of that are. So there's an ability now where you can sneak up behind a person and take them hostage for a short period of time and use them kind of like a bullet shield, which other games have done in the past. But it's real bad because when you do that, it turns on proximity chat. So you can talk to the guy that you have hostage. And let's just say in tweets, Treyarch basically said, hey guys, when you do this, proximity chat turns on. Be nice.
Be nice.
Not one person. I've seen clips where it's horrible. And I'm not going to say it on the show because Sean will kick me off the show if I say the things that I've heard. It's bad. Go on Twitter, look it up. It's funny because some people play into it and it's like funny content, but then I can imagine just horrible things being said through that thing. And I really don't want to think about those parts of it. But no, like so far it's crazy content. There is another beta that's happening this weekend. It's an open beta. So if you did not pre-order it or you do not have Game Pass, which if you don't have Game Pass, get your life together. Everybody can now play it. So if you want to check it out, it's a free download this weekend. There is exclusive stuff. If you do level up your character, you will unlock things in the full game for Black Ops 6. So, I encourage everybody to go check it out. Again, don't get discouraged if you're not good right away, because there are people that played for a week that already know how to do the movement and all that stuff, so don't get discouraged. Do the training. The training does help with the movement. Kind of teach you some basic stuff, but yeah, overall, I had fun with it. I just want to play Warzone. That's what I want. So, Bowsah, what'd you end up playing?
Oh, let's do the good news, bad news sandwich for today's what I've been playing.
The sadness of something that got discussed earlier.
Let's talk about a little indie game that I got a code from Xbox Canada. It is called Island Cities. I got a video pulled up if you want to show that. It's a cute little puzzle game. You see a picture of a little city, and then when you hit play, it kind of shuffles all of the blocks around, and you have to put the city back together. So just a little puzzle game. It's fun. You can switch back to like the final view at any time. Just press the B button and see what you have wrong. And also, when you get a piece in the right place, it gets like some golden sparkles on it. And also, then you can't move it. So once you get something in the right place, you know it, which is nice. But chill vibes. This is like fire it up each day and play one level type of deal. So really cool little game. I'm having a good time with that.
Is it a Game Pass game, or is it just, it's like you got a code for it? Okay.
Yeah, it's an ID at Xbox game.
Got it. I didn't know if you were doing that for your daily Game Pass.
No, I wish it counted, you know? Why do they got to gatekeep like that? But, you know. So, next up, a game that I was playing that I will no longer be playing. Rest in pieces, Concord. You had a good 2 weeks, a special place in my heart. But unfortunately, PlayStation took you away from me. All right, so I got some things to say here.
Okay, go ahead, do it.
I'm mad at the internet.
I'm not trying to laugh at it. I'm laughing
You're
because
laughing
Bowsah
at me.
said,
I can feel it.
okay, go on. I'll stop. Go on.
What makes me mad is, like, before the game even came out, the influencers on the internet were declaring it dead and that it's bad and whatnot, and they hadn't even played it. That makes me angry. And then now, when it got shut down, they were like, oh, that's so sad. I feel bad. It wasn't that bad of a game. Well, then why did you say it was terrible 2 weeks ago? You helped cause this problem, and I blame you. And I cannot wait until 6 months from now when half of Firewalk Studios gets laid off and we're like, oh my god, why did this happen? Well, because you fools get on and crap on a game that you didn't even play for no good reason, because it's the cool thing to do and it gets you clicks. So, I'll give you some clicks. You're not going to like them. How about that?
Dang. Some hate comments coming from Bowsah, allegedly.
So,
on her burner account, though, not her main one.
Oh, yeah.
On her burner account.
So, now the Carpool Concord fans are looking for a new home, trying to figure out what we're going to play next. At least we got our money back. I think I got like 15, 20 hours in the game and got my money back, so whatever.
Here's what I will say. I'm not at all happy that the game is shut down. What I am shocked, and this is why I'm laughing, is how Sony handled it and how quickly they just clipped that game. It's kind of nuts that you buy a studio and they spend 8 years making a game. And granted, it wasn't getting off the wall, great fanfare and all that stuff. And this is, again, there are tons of people out there that crap on things they don't play, right? I try not to be one of those people. I don't know. I just say I have no idea if it's good or bad. I don't know. But there's a bunch of people that crap on it, and they could be a plethora of people. Sony fans who don't want any live service games, because that's one weird part of a fan base that I don't get. Like, I would never crap on Microsoft till come out with a single. Oh my God, Microsoft came out with a single player story driven game. That's a Sony thing. They shouldn't do that. Like, what are you talking about?
I could see
that's so weird.
If you're talking about I don't want Naughty Dog to work on a live service game. I would rather them make Last of Us Part 3. But this studio was bought with this game in mind. Like, it's not taking away from Last of Us Part 3 or whatever. Ghost of Tsushima 2 or whatever,
But yeah, I get that. I mean, but at the same time, I don't say that either, because Playground's making Fable and they make awesome stuff. So why would I not want them to continue to make Awesome stuff. Fable doesn't have cars in it. Last time I
People are
checked,
just weird.
there ain't no cars in that game. So I'm just like, it's weird because, yeah, like I said, there was like a section of the fan base that hated on it because they didn't want Sony to have any live service games, which I understand.
Oh, I don't want this company I like to have money.
Right. I don't want this company to make something different that maybe a cater fan base will like and blah, blah, blah. That's dumb. That Sony fan base is dumb. Of course, the Xbox fanboys that just want to crap on everything Sony. Those are also really stupid people. I already had my opinions on it, which I said last week of Concord. I'm just sad because number one, you're right. There's a bunch of people because in my opinion, this is my opinion, that game's never coming back. That game's never coming back. It will take them so long to make it free to play. They're going to have to change if they go free to play, which is again, one of those things I had mentioned, like is a good thing for a type of game similar to this. I feel the time and money it would take for them to make it free to play, that Sony's just going to make it a tax write-off and just never release it again. That's why they gave everybody their money back, because you can't charge for that. I don't want that. Obviously, I want Concord because, again, there was plenty of people that did play it that did have fun with it. I just don't like how Sony was very quick to just, how much would it really cost to keep servers up for a game?
Why even
say you
release
wanted
it?
to like pause updates, right? Give us 3 months and we're going to change the model of this game. Until then, here's some free stuff we had that we were going to charge you for. We'll give it to you for free. And then 3 months from now, we're going to change the model of this.
Yeah. My thing is like, why did they even go live with it? Like they knew there was no pre-orders for it. Like why'd they even do it? Why didn't they like stop right before that instead of waiting 2 weeks and then killing it anyways? That just seems like a lot of hassle. I don't know. It's weird.
Yeah. It's very strange how they did it. And I'm shocked at how quickly they clipped it. I'm shocked that you're right. They had data beforehand of pre-orders.
Mm-hmm. So I have some questions about this game because I didn't really watch much of it because it is in first person. So my question is, how long were the queues to get into a game, Bowsah?
Throughout the thing, I never waited more than 2 minutes.
Okay, that's still not as bad as like some other games that are currently
but with
overflowing.
they're estimating like 25,000 copies sold. Like that's going to drop off quick. Like as people get their fill of it and move on, it will drop off. But the time it was live, I did not have any problems.
I'm so curious what went wrong with it. Was it not the lack of advertising for it? Was the lack of hype?
Well, there was
it a matter of
weird advertising because it was in that one show and it looked like knockoff Guardians of the Galaxy, like it was going to be a story-based thing. And then all of a sudden the trailer changed to this is a 5v5 arena shooter. Like what?
But
I swear,
did we know about that until before Summer Game Fest?
I didn't know that game existed. Now, again, to be clear, I forget a lot of stuff, right? There's tons of conferences that happen and there's like games that get shown off. I'm like, that looks awesome. They're like, yeah, we've known about that for about a year. It was at the last one. I didn't know. But like, what's funny is I streamed on my channel. I streamed that PlayStation conference and I actually, the way they showed the trailer for it, I was actually hyped thinking it was like a story-based, like Guardians of the Galaxy style world. I was super stoked until they actually said what the game was. And I was like, what did you just say?
Yeah.
I don't want to play that.
That was like a big bait and switch.
Oh my God.
That soured a lot of people. And that would have had me soured, but then Locklith saw the beta was happening and said she was having fun with it. I was like, all right, I'll give it a try. And then we ended up having a blast. And that's how I ended up buying it, right? I had the friends to play with.
Do you think it came out too close to the beta for the new Marvel game that's similar to it? Because I feel like people are like, I've seen more people talk about that online than Concord.
Well, because that's Marvel, right? Like, that's a big brand.
That IP is top 5 in the world. Like, literally.
So that's not great. And it's a $40 game as opposed to free.
Because I know a lot of people had the same issue with like when it came to like Breath of the Wild, because that came out around the same time as like Horizon did. So people really have a feeling that Zelda overshone like Horizon because of the fact that it was so popular. And then when the next Horizon game came out, we then had Elden Ring, and then we also had another Zelda game. So it was like kind of like it was always didn't really set it up for success. And so I'm just curious if it was because of that, because like I said,
it probably played a part. But what, like Overwatch is free now, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
It used to be a paid thing.
Correct.
Yes.
So, yeah, it feels like they chose this path and had a lot of small to medium things wrong, and they just kind of snowballed.
I think it sounds bad, and I said this before too. When they bought the studio 8 years ago, I think they kept the mentality of 8 years ago what this type of game used to be. Like Overwatch 8 years ago, you had to buy it, right? Like that was the thing you had to purchase for $40. And at the time, maybe it was $60. It was a full price game. So like at that time, maybe they were thinking this is the model. But like when I feel like over the course of 8 years, you have to adjust and adapt to like what the market looks like. And how everything went free to play and how they've changed up the way they monetize like everything in those games is just what I felt you should do to keep the player base there. Because that was like our whole conversation we had last week on the episode. What do you need to do to keep a live service game there? And I'm not saying don't pay for games, because obviously people should pay for games. But those types of games, just that market now is free to play and microtransactions to death. And it works though. Like obviously there's tons of free to play games that make a ton of money, but that initial $0 entry to get into the game and keep a player base is what's most important.
Were they also misguided because Helldivers did so well? Like you had to buy that game. It's not a PvP, but here is an online multiplayer game that people paid for willingly, and it had a big spotlight for a while.
Yeah.
Is that why they like stuck with it at the end here and just got it to the finish line?
But I feel like the game, like I agree with what Mitch is saying. A lot of the games that almost have the same overall vibe as Concord are the free to play. They're the ones that you sell the cosmetics, you sell the microtransactions, you sell the battle passes, and you just get people hyped that way. Because as someone who plays, like quite honestly, the games that I've played the last 2 weeks, they're all free to play games. But there's gotcha elements to it, which is like a huge element now. And even if I did decide to, let's say, go play, I guess, Overwatch, because it's a game I enjoy playing, that's another game that's free to play. And then even the ones that I'm interested in that you have to pay a small amount, which is like Dead by Daylight, for example, a lot of it's a very small transaction, and then it's just a bunch of cosmetics and battle passes. And I think that's just... I feel I think overall I agree with you, Mitch. I think it's the mentality of 8 years ago where you could sell these games for full price at the beginning and then get people to pay more, but it's just getting them to go over that hurdle, especially with an IP that they don't know. It's hard. It's a hard sell. That's the problem. Yeah. There's so many games.
You could do this with Marvel Rivals. You could charge $40 and people would throw money at it.
Yeah. Exactly. When a big IP like Marvel is saying this will be free, and already established games are already free, like it's hard to kind of jump into that market and have people pay a premium. I don't think Helldivers, I would hope Helldivers wouldn't influence them charging $40, simply because I feel like Helldivers is a different type of game. Like it's not that arena shooter, basically, right? It is very much like, it feels like a $40 game though. It feels like a single player game that you can just play with other people, right? Again, that's just that type of game. That's how I feel like they could spend $40 and it was fine. I don't think it's just, you're comparing it, and you're right. Marvel coming out around the time it didn't help anything, right? Like, here's a free game. It's not even out yet though. It was like the beta was happening around the same time, but I feel that Sony absolutely should have just been like, yo, we have to rethink a lot right now, because we put a beta out. People weren't over the moon about it. I'm not saying, it's not like millions of PS5 people downloaded the beta and were playing it, right? So you have to look at it like, how many people played the beta? What's the feedback on that? How many pre-orders do we have? Oh, we don't have that many pre-orders. Maybe we should step back and just wait and tell all these people, yeah, I'm sorry, this game's going to get delayed, but we're doing it for X, Y, and Z reason, right? Because like that Shuhei Yoshida thing, a good game that's delayed to take time, whatever, bad game forever. Like it is one of the biggest blunders I think Sony's ever had, is releasing a game that could have had potential. 8 years is a long time though. You can't, that's a long time. That's high school twice. That's a long time. I'm just saying, that's high school twice. And this is the product that you come up with. And again, I feel bad because a bunch of people worked hard on it. And I just feel there was somebody it's the same thing that EA did with Titanfall. They were just like, set it out. Who cares? We need to hit a quota for stockholders. Go ahead and put it out. And then the internet flamed it. And it didn't help anything that the internet flamed it. And then Sony looks even worse now because they're just like, we're going to retool it. And I'm like, dude, you just gave everybody their money back. You killed the game in 2 weeks.
Yep.
That's, even if it does come
take
back,
a lot for me to play it again. You know what I mean?
Right. That's what I'm saying. Like, even if it does come back, you have to have like a whole plan, and it's going to be the laughing stock of the internet when it comes back. Like, and it just sucks. You don't want to like taint a game like that. But Sony did come out with another game.
Yeah.
Real
Speaking
close.
of other games that I played,
segue.
I spent 10 hours today playing Astrobot. Astrobot wiped away the tears of Concord for me.
It sure did.
He might be a little rusty now, but it was a sacrifice that had to be made. How convenient that they kill a game, get some bad press, and then a couple days later, bam, they release like one of the top scoring games of the year.
No joke. It is the highest rated exclusive PS5 game on Metacritic. I wish I was lying. People reviewed it, said it's better than Mario Odyssey. People are saying it like redefines 3D platforming. And I'm just sitting there going, who the hell thought that was going to happen? I don't know if that's true or not. I can't tell you that.
If you played Astro's Playroom, I think you would have your opinion set already. It's very much the same, but just more and bigger.
I think the nostalgia part of it, though, also hits a big
I think that's a thing where people, it's not necessarily a better platformer than Mario Odyssey, which is one of my favorite games of all time. It's, if you have a history with PlayStation games, you are going to have all kinds of nostalgia moments while you're playing. And there are whole levels dedicated to some games.
That's so awesome.
Yeah, and they're pretty rad. So
for people that haven't already checked it out, there is a VOD because we are live on Twitch. After this show, of course, stick around, watch this show. Please. Don't leave yet. But as soon as this show is over, and as soon as the after show is over, go watch the VOD of them playing Astrobot. It's awesome. Like, let's put it this way. I was not going to buy it because I was just kind of like, not crapping on it. But again, I'm just like, it'll probably be all right. And then literally it's a 94 on Metacritic and like 10 out of 10s and 9 out of 10s from everybody. And I'm just thinking, where the hell that come from? Like, that's crazy. But again, I'm happy because it's like Sony just ate a bullet for all the Concord stuff. And they're like, hey guys, let's just get rid of it now because we know Astrobot's really good. Everybody will shut up about this as soon as Astrobot comes out. Just put this out. And then they did, and it's awesome. And
they literally shut down the servers at 1 o'clock today, mere hours after Astrobot released.
Astrobot took all that's what it was. You know what it was?
It needed all the
They needed space
for
Astrobot downloads. So that's what they did with those servers. Exactly. Craziest thing, both games got a controller.
And I'm going to have both.
You're going to have both. Yay. It's weird though, because like the marketing of that game, seeing you play it, and I saw the controller, and that made me want to buy the controller because of how they did. It's weird. I don't get how they did that. And I'm just like, I went from that much interest in Astrobot to reviews happening going,
you're buying the game and the controller real soon.
Yeah. All of a sudden I'm like, oh man, reviews are good. Maybe I'll check this game out. Seeing gameplay. Oh man, that looks really cool. Oh wait, the controller's in the game. That controller looks cool to me. Good job, Sony.
You're welcome.
It's great. It looks awesome. It looks like a lot of fun.
But we'll get more into that later. I know we have a couple questions. But in the meantime, Fee, what have you been playing?
Guys, You're gonna be disappointed in me.
I played a character creator for 4 hours. Go on.
You know it. No, I've been playing some Paleo.
Okay.
A lot of Paleo. Just a ton of Paleo.
Just that?
Just a ton of Paleo, guys.
It's fine.
You know what? Okay,
I play a lot of Apex.
Okay,
I mean,
no.
it happens.
So I have played another game, and maybe I'll talk about it another day. But this is not the day to talk about this game. So yeah, it's a game. No,
Is it a game you can't talk about because of the show we're on? Is it a game that's Twitch only? I'm scared now. I don't want to know. Actually, you know what?
Scared.
Keep your Steam library hidden for that reason. Go on. It's okay. We'll stop.
It's not on Steam. So yeah, I don't know. Like, I really haven't been playing too much recently. And I realized that an hour before this podcast. I was just like, it has been 2 weeks. And I haven't really been playing much. I did some art. As we've seen, there's a really cool new Bobby around. You may have noticed. So been working on that kind of stuff. And then, yeah, but guys, I just want to let you know, for people who aren't aware, Fiona 100% her first game. Wow.
Nice.
Yay. Is it an actual video game? I mean, I think it counts. It's on Steam. But that
It has Steam achievements and you got 100% on it, right?
Exactly.
Rich Bauer, that's all he needed. So good job.
Wow.
You're
I have a little ribbon. I have a blue ribbon on Steam. It says it's 100%. I got 29 out of 29 achievements. It took me 250 hours. No, actually, my apologies. It took me on solid 400 hours to get to this point.
Bowsah's giving you games that could be done in 2 hours. Done.
Yeah. Mitch, if I'm going to 100% a game, it's going to take me hundreds of hours, and it's going to be, is it a matter of me just putting this like particular game on and then it just plays music and then like really soft like rain sounds and you can decorate your room and it's like has a character creator in it? Abso-freaking-lutely it does. That
sounds like the most fee game I've ever heard in my damn life. It plays noise in the background. You can decorate, and there's a character creator.
And there was a new
up to 400 hours,
guys,
100%.
No way! She played 400 hours of a shocker.
Guys. There was a new update on the 26th, and I spent hours redecorating my room, and it was phenomenal, and I loved every single second of it. It was so much fun. So it's called Spirit City Lo-Fi Sessions. So as a fun fact, there is music in the game. I never listen to the music in the game. I just literally play the sounds.
Yep, it's a fee game. Ladies and gentlemen, it's a fee game.
So what's really fun is like you can do different activities. So your character could like be reading or like knitting or like playing on their computer and stuff. And then you can have like rain sounds. And if it's raining, there could be rain outside your window, and you could be like, let's say I want to have like fire sounds. And so you turn that up, and then your little fireplace in your room ignites. I think it's really cozy. I usually have it on when I'm working, or if I'm playing other video games, or if I'm watching TV, I usually have it on. So yeah, I got 100%. I'm level 63, which is an obnoxious level. Yes, Mitch.
Is one of the reasons why you got all the achievements because one of the achievements is listen to music for 400 hours? Is that one of the achievements? Is that why you got 100%?
No, it's mostly because you have to hit level 50. And it takes a while to get to level 50, Mitch. It takes dedication to get to level 50, okay?
All that music you gotta listen to.
Yeah, only 3.4 people who've played this game have gotten that achievement. So feeling pretty good about it. Pretty good indeed. No, I wasn't trying to get 100% on this game, but I noticed it and I'm like, you know what? There you go. I'm out.
I have a legal obligation I need to get out of. Let me share this to the team.
Exactly. So I'm just like, you know what, guys? Guess what? Your girl hit 100% on a video game. So
very proud of you, Fee. Good job.
Thank you. And then my celebration was I bought it for 3 people because I was really excited about the new.
I'm glad you did.
I was excited. I wanted people to talk to about the character creator and the room design stuff elements, because no one I knew was like talking about it, and I'm like, I'm just gonna buy it from my friends. So here we are. Yeah, that's just, I don't know. I wish I could say I played more video games. It's just more in the lines of, I guess it just wasn't in the cards for me. I've been watching, once again, a lot of television and like doing other creative outlet stuff. And then a game I'm just not going to talk about right now. So here we are.
We gotta do it on the after show. You have to talk about it on the after show, the one that's not family friendly. We gotta talk about why you're not talking about this. I can't explain why. I honestly have no idea why.
I feel like, Mitch, if I told you the game that I'm currently playing, you are going to like face plant and just be like, this is the dumbest thing you've ever said.
Face palm so hard, I give myself a concussion.
Yeah, guys, just as a heads up, Mitch is not going to be on the podcast next week because he is in fact going to get a concussion from the conversation we're going to have.
Gonna slam my head in my desk as hard as I can right in front of me, just like.
Yeah, who knows? You know what? I like suspense. I like keeping the listeners curious of like what we've been doing, and so I'm not going to tell you guys.
I like the tease into the next thing. Keep them here. Keep them coming back.
Exactly.
Next time on the Xbox Drive. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like that.
Fiona has the gall to talk about this game on the podcast.
Wait till Sean's here so we can see his reaction too. Do that.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. Why would I miss up that miss that opportunity? I'm already like filling him with so much joy by having technical issues at the beginning of the podcast. I may as well.
Also, we'll point out for anybody who's not listening, you haven't heard Sean because he's here and being quiet. Sean's not here. Just want to throw that out there.
You know what? It has been like 40 minutes and we said nothing about Sean. We legitimately just started the podcast.
I know.
We did
People
housekeeping.
figure it out. Like, I did his part.
Sean's held captive in the corner, taped up. Like, don't worry about Sean. He's fine.
No one said anything. He could just be sitting here.
I would laugh so hard if he was here and just muted the whole time, just like.
Well, now we have to do a podcast where Sean just sits there. Yeah.
Exactly. At the end, he says bye, everybody. I'm like, Sean was there the whole time? What the hell? That's awesome.
Oh my goodness. I'm dying. But yeah, here we are. That's what we've been playing, guys. Real exciting stuff.
Have been. Absolutely.
Nice.
You could say 10 out of 10. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. It's like
Mitch, you have no idea why I'm saying that. It's fine.
No, I don't. I'm just running with it.
Maybe you should listen to some of that exclusive content.
You're right. I probably
For
should.
that 10 out of 10 content, you know what I mean?
Yep.
The 10 out of 10
Hey, I
content.
said
what
to
you
the
mean.
Twitch channel, that's enough. You know what I mean? I'm supporting there. It's fine.
One of these days, guys, Mitch is going to do a pants podcast. It's going to be fantastic. I'm going to be really excited. One day. Here we go. Put you in the rotation.
Put on
you know
some
what
pants,
I mean?
for goodness sake.
Put on some pants.
Okay. Sorry. My bad. Hey, Bowsah, did Xbox announce any new Game Pass games recently?
They did, as a matter of
No
fact.
way!
Look at that.
No way.
No way.
Not really a good selection for me personally. I have the list shared. Expeditions, a Mud Runner game. Okay. Train Sim World 5. Borderline interesting because my husband's big into trains, so maybe I'll make him play that.
Expeditions, a mud running game. Okay.
Okay. There's that.
Continue.
It's probably a great game. I just don't have time for it at the moment.
Probably all that mud physics look awesome.
Yeah. I don't know if it'll be the same as like Forza Horizon 5, but hey, we'll see. Riders Republic. I think I played like a beta for this game or something like that when it was first coming out. It's decent. I'll probably install it and play around a little bit. Like, you know, these Ubisoft games, they got a lot of variety in each game. Like, I don't even know what all you're doing here. You're riding bicycles and snowboard, and I don't know.
It feels like X Games the game.
Yeah,
Like,
that's kind of what it is.
Yeah. Wingsuits and mountain bikes and dirt bikes and snowboarding and snow skiing and big jumps.
So if you're into that, you know, might be something fun to just have installed and do a race now and then. And then the last one, Age of Mythology Retold. That's a remaster of an old game.
Want to point out something? I have not played it, so I don't have a formal opinion. However, in a Discord I am in, somebody says Age of Mythology is fantastical.
Yeah.
There's
I've heard
your
it's
tagline
good for
right
that,
there.
that type of game. So
Right.
if you're into that, there you go.
Absolutely.
You win.
It's all included with Game Pass, guys. Just go get it.
So, like, who do we got to talk to at Ubisoft to get them to release another Trials game? That's what I want to know. That's what I would rather have versus Riders Republic.
So, you know what's funny? I forgot to mention that the other day, Call of Duty was updating, and I was bored. And I'm like, you know what? I was going through the games that were installed. Oh, no, I know what it was. Call of Duty needed more space to be installed. That's what it was. I had to move some stuff around to get an update done. And I actually came across Trials, and I was like, you know what? I haven't played this game in a minute, and I played it. That game is phenomenal. Yes.
Awesome.
What is Trials?
Trials is a motorcycle game where you basically have to, it's like a course that you have to go through, but it's very physics driven. Like, I'm trying to think, there is a term for that type of style of racing where like you have to balance on one wheel and accelerate to like throw your body up to another obstacle. They've had a couple different versions of the game. I think 3 or 4 different versions of the Trials games. Originally, it was an Xbox Live Arcade game, which was phenomenal. Literally one of the best live arcade games they probably have ever made. And then it just got like sequel after sequel. I think Bowsah might be trying to pull something up, or I don't know, maybe.
Yeah, it's
Is
a
it like is it
2.5D racing game.
motocross? Or
What's
like
that?
Bike? Is it like mountain bike?
It's
stuff?
motocross. It's like a dirt bike. It's like a dirt bike.
Okay.
But like I said, like it's like almost certain obstacles. It's almost like a puzzle game in a way, because you have to figure out a way to like jump on this obstacle to balance yourself, and you like slowly hit the accelerator to where you don't fly backwards. Like there's different ways of like, and it's very physics driven, but it's super fun. They get wacky levels where you have to like jump over exploding boxes, you know, to not blow up. But the cool thing is that it has a very quick, and this is the best thing about these types of games. If you die, you hit B and instant back to the checkpoint. It's immediately back. So there's no load times, there's nothing. So you could try these things over and over and over. And some of these levels, for example, they have a limit of 500 times you can die in a level. And let's just say some of those levels, I've definitely died 500 times trying to beat them. Like some of those like later levels, like Bowsah can attest to them, they're insanely hard, and they're insanely like very precise. There's different bikes you can use for different attributes. It's just a fun kind of like waste time type of game. Also has ghosts where you can check leaderboards, which is the best. So like all your friends are on leaderboards, so you can see a ghost of Bowsah or whoever doing the course with you, so you can see how fast or how far ahead that you are of them. It's
And you can see
super
what
fun.
they did. Like, did they find like a secret way to go or something?
Yep.
So they're like
Absolutely.
the echoes from Elden Ring.
Yeah, kind of like that.
Yeah, kind of like that. Yeah. But like I said, what's cool is like you can see like, and sometimes there's more than one, but like typically like me and Bryant were the ones that played a lot of that game. And like I would see Bryant do something and I'm like, how the hell did you even get up there? Like, how did you, because there's different paths you can take to get shorter times, right? So some of them require more of like a different bike to get to a higher point to skip a bunch of sections. Like, and that's the cool part about it is that even if you beat a level, the way they have the leaderboards laid out, and they have, of course, like bronze, silver, gold, and then like, you know, it's just super fun. Like it's a really fun time killer. And I didn't play it for a while, and I played it, and there was like a level that's insanely long that I was just playing while Call of Duty was updating. And it's awesome. It's super fun. I want to say, I don't know if any of them are on Game Pass or not. I'm not sure. I'm going to check that out right
I
now.
have to check a YouTube video. I definitely don't know if those games would be for me, but this would be a great opportunity for someone to play them.
Yeah, I would definitely encourage people to check them out. I can find you a YouTube video right now.
Yeah, Trials Rising was the latest. It was even
It was
on
Rising
Stadia.
was the latest?
Yep.
Okay. Yeah, I'm going to put something in the chat right now, link for a YouTube video. So you can kind of see like some of the different things that you have to do in the game. But yeah, like it's it's a very fun game, and like I said, it's very challenging at times though. Very much like, how the hell do I get past this thing? And it's just a matter of testing out different things that you can do. They have also a very good tutorial as well to like show you the best ways to go over obstacles and stuff like that. But just how quick you can get in and out of the games, they did a very good job. Very good job. Yep, that is it.
Yep.
Huh. Yeah,
So you
no.
can see like, yeah,
You gotta
like,
go
can see
fast
on
to get past the spikes, but you're
Yeah, you have to
also
use-
like, you control how your rider sits on the motorcycle as well to like balance it. It's wild.
Oh, guys,
Yeah.
this is not a me game at all.
So like that right there, like, yeah, you have to get over that, and he's gonna have to jump over this little thing that'll, nope, yeah, see how that, yeah, I'm watching a different
Yeah,
video.
this
here.
person's good.
Yeah, no. So like basically you have to lean certain ways. You have to go faster, lean forward to get your front tire over it, to get your back tire over it. There's a lot kind of going on here. And again, this is one of the more advanced levels. Just to be clear, this is not how hard every level is. This is one of those like insane levels. But some of the earlier levels are cool though, because like I said, they're just fun, right? There's ones where you do this loop and it throws you like 200 feet in the air to go over this. It's some of the easier levels are just fun, but then you get to these that are straight up
Yeah.
like really challenging.
I'm not gonna lie. This is how my experience with Trials would be. I can already see it, downloading it, opening up the game, getting to level 1, failing at it, and then walking away. This is a
Here's what I'll tell you. That I don't think you'll get to level 1 and fail. I think like that's what I'm saying. Like they do a good job of like progressing you to get to the point where you get to things like that. That's nowhere near the beginning of the game. That is probably one of the last levels of that game.
I
But-
appreciate the hope and like
I'm just saying, if
Belief
people
that
want
you
to check out a
have
fun
me.
game, I just searched up Trials on Game Pass. Unfortunately, it's not there. They have them on sale a bunch though, so if you want to check them out, they're really good. They're fun games, and like I said, just time killers. You know, you get that little itch of like, oh man, I can shave off 2 seconds off this if I do this a little bit better, like that kind of perfectionist type of deal. Yeah, it's fun.
cool. Well,
Go do that. Except for Fee, apparently, because Fee will have a problem doing it.
Yeah. At least it's not first person.
That's true.
true.
There's no real
First
character
time.
creator either.
Yeah. Eventually you like unlock some gear, don't you? And you can like
You
change
do.
your
You could change the way your rider
outfit.
looks. So
Yep.
maybe we'll get Fee in there. You
Yep.
hey, you have different
what?
boots and helmets and motorcycle effects, and
I will do the character creator and that's it.
Fee's like, cool. I don't care.
Yeah, no.
I don't know.
Yeah.
It's I like I would be more likely to like play a first person shooter maybe than
Wow.
I don't know. I
This
don't
was a
know.
Stadia game. I'm surprised you don't like know.
Okay, just because it was on Stadia, one, thank you for putting salt in a wound that will never heal. But at the same time, I'm not gonna know every game that was on Stadia. Yeah, you know what? I'm not here to be rude about a game that I've never played before.
But
It's
here we
just-
are.
But here we are.
Here we are.
You know what? I'm so happy for all of you who've played that game and enjoyed it. And you know what? I hope you guys get a new Trials in the future. Who knows? 2025 is just around the corner. Maybe
Let's
we'll
go.
see it. Maybe we'll see it at the Game Awards. Maybe this is us like predicting what might be coming up
There it
later on
is.
this year. Boom.
We're summoning it.
We're summoning
Exactly.
it. I'm summoning it for you guys once
Thank you.
again because the moment that this comes on as a trailer, there might be nothing behind the eyes for a little bit, but it's okay.
She'll be like, what is this game?
I mean, you know
Oh,
what?
I
I'm
see a
probably
motorcycle.
gonna,
Maybe it's Trials. Bowsah and Mitch are going to be extremely happy right now.
every game now. It doesn't matter what it is. I'm just gonna say it's Trials if I see a motorcycle. It doesn't matter what
sounds
it
good.
is. They're zombies. It's Trials. You see it like just a bubble
Days
gum.
gone? Nope,
you know-
it's Trials.
Mario Kart adds new motorcycles. It's Trials. 100%.
Everything
Yep.
is Trials.
I want to shout out Yarden in the chat says, I would do unspeakable things for a new Trials game.
See? Yarden knows what's up.
Yarden knows what's up. He also says, remember Trials of the Blood Dragon? That was something. So they had a crossover with that Fallout
Dragon?
expansion, the Blood Dragon Fallout expansion with Trials. It was crazy. There was a lot of weird stuff going on in that version of it, but it was super fun.
Man.
So
There you go.
Yep.
Trials.
Yarden knows what's up.
Game of the year hasn't even come out this year, but here we are.
Yeah, here we are. Well, here's one of the things. It's a contagious game. Like once someone starts playing it and other people find out, you get a couple people in there and then they're just chirping back and forth. Oh, I beat you on this course. I beat you on that one. And next thing you know, there's a whole group of people and it's popping off.
Right.
That's how it goes.
Yeah, like I said, it's kind of crazy. Like all the it's super. It's just like I said, it's a big time waster.
Neon
really.
white before neon white.
Yeah, like it's just a big time waster. But again, it's that like itch of like I want to be better at the time. I want to get better than my friend. When you have a friend who plays it, and y'all can just run your mouths to each other about like, oh man, I beat you on that level. Brian would do that. Brian would randomly send me a text, be like, I beat you on this level in trials. Have a good day. I'm like, thanks. So now I'm gonna go home for the rest of the day.
3 hours trying to beat you by half a second, and I did it. So go have fun.
Now I'm realizing this is definitely a game I can't play because I'm gonna tell you guys. I'm gonna tell you guys a secret. I am obnoxiously competitive, and so I will legitimately. And it's not gonna be cute. It's not gonna be very cutesy. It's not gonna be demure.
Lots of words that can't be said on this show.
It's going to be a lot of obscenities, and it would probably be a lot towards Mitch, and it would just be like, "Guess what, buddy?" And then a bunch of obscenities, and then a screenshot of my score being
sorry,
like, "Get wrecked."
Bowsah, I beat your score. Mitch, get wrecked.
Yeah. That's the PG-13 version of what he would tell me. If he would send me a Discord DM, she wouldn't even put it in the group. She would privately tell me how much I'm not as good.
Or just call you out in the Discord, you know? Just in the general chat and put at Mitch Power.
Mitch Power 1116.
Yeah.
Get wrecked, loser. Here's a screenshot of me being
and then
better
I get
than
a
you.
temp ban in the Discord and get it told that I can't talk in Discord for a bit because of how toxic I am.
Yeah,
you know what?
Quit being toxic.
You should keep it to DMs. We can't have you banned on the Discord.
No, keep it in the Xbox Drive chat. That way I can keep an eye on it.
Yeah, exactly. The one that's very much okay. Also, apparently in Game Pass, though, there's like DLC and game updates also. Like there's some Dead by Daylight Castlevania. Apparently that's a thing. I didn't know. And there's some like Arc updates that are happening.
Yeah,
so
Dead by Daylight.
Still, we should try that one day.
What?
Wouldn't mind it. We'll have to check it out one day.
Which one?
I don't know.
DBD?
Yeah.
Okay, we have to put a pin on DBD. We'll talk about that one later. Oh, man.
Maybe spooky season after show one day. Just saying.
Don't tempt me with a good time. Either
Too
way.
expensive.
What do you mean too expensive? It's essentially like you can play for free.
It's on Game Pass.
All right. Shh.
The problem is Bowsah's going to get the Game Pass version and then see there's 38 people you can download and play. And she's going to be like, well, there goes my wallet. And just,
there goes my Concord refund.
We'll talk about this game in just a little bit. But you know what, Bowsah?
Yep.
Go for it.
What? All right, let's bring some community members into the carpool with us.
Hey.
Let's start with the Astrobot questions. Croco Kyle writes in, with how much buzz is buzzing about Astrobot, if it sells well, do you think Microsoft takes notes that people like a well-made platformer collectathon and give Banjo and Kazooie the love they deserve? Mitch, what do you think?
Yes, because they have people. Yes,
that's it.
That's it. No, I just think the fact that they have a ton of people at Activision that could easily make a platformer game really good. Even though Toys for Bob is like technically gone, they did the remakes of Crash and Spyro. They still have a relationship with Microsoft. If this does well, you could, because again, like that platformer isn't like a first party game that Microsoft has at the moment. They've had them before, but that's not like a part that's like in their libraries at this moment. You know what I mean? Like, so yeah, they have enough studios. Adam David's comments, awesome. They have I can't read comments and talk. They have enough studios, they have enough manpower to do it. And you're right, if it does it, they have enough IP technically. I mean, Banjo could be the thing. It could be just a Crash or Spyro game though too, but I mean, Banjo hasn't had a game in a minute, and of course it would be big fanfare, and of course that would easily be one of those games that you could go put on other platforms. sell those copies as well. Just saying.
Yeah. B,
You
what
make
do
it
you
exclusive
think?
for Xbox, but yeah.
Do you think that Xbox is going to make a nice platformer for us?
I think it's good. It's high time for it. You know what I mean? I feel as though I was gonna make a Concord joke. I need to stop. I need to not go down and make some mean jokes about a game that just locked themselves away. Either way, yeah, I think it's a high time. I think it's a good opportunity, especially like with so many other puzzle games becoming so prominent as of late. We see a lot of like indie platformers, of course, and like other indie games that are doing quite well, and I think this is a good opportunity. I feel like they've done a lot of RPGs at this point. They've had the God of War, they've had the Horizon, and maybe this is a good opportunity to branch out and then create a game that's different than one of their main essentially like their AAA games at this time. I feel like it's a good opportunity overall, just because it's missing, I guess. I think there's a huge like my problem right now with PlayStation is there's nothing that's like really like enticing me to buy it. You know what I mean? Whereas of course with like Xbox, there's so many different games that we can play right now. I don't know. It's just I feel like they need to start getting more varieties to entice people to come over to that console. At least that's my perspective. I don't know. I'm out. I've been out of the PlayStation game for too long, Bowsah.
Yeah.
I feel really disconnected from it. Like whenever I think of gaming, I think of Xbox and I think of my PC. I'm not thinking about PlayStation, and I feel like it's a really missed opportunity because like even like the only game that's like truly made me want to go over and actually buy it was like getting trying to play that new Final Fantasy game that came out last year.
Yep.
That was 16.
Yep.
So that was like the one I was truly interested in because it was actually created by some of the writers who did like the Dark Knight arc in Final Fantasy 14, and I'm like, "Oh man, I really want to try this." And then I'm like, "You know what? I can wait a year. I'm a patient gal. I have Baldur's Gate 3. I don't need to buy this game. Like, and I don't need to buy like in Canada, it's like $700 for the console still. It's like ridiculous. So I think getting something like that and getting some more like games that are like a little bit outside of the box or at least their comfort zone, I think it's a good opportunity to like get people really excited. And I think that would draw more people in. So here's hoping.
Yeah. Yeah, I feel like for a while now, both PlayStation and Xbox have kind of let Nintendo have that platformer, the polished platformer thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Here's what I think. I think a lot of what's going on with Astrobot right now is the hype for all of the other IPs that are in it. Like every PlayStation IP from PlayStation 1 on is showing up in this game, and people are getting all kinds of feels about it, myself included. So even just putting out a Banjo-Kazooie game isn't going to do the same thing. Like that, the people that are Banjo-Kazooie fans are going to be happy, but it's not going to have that broad appeal that Astrobot does right now. So
The fan service.
Yep.
There's a lot of fan service in Astrobot,
And I don't
which
think
is
it would
a big
like
deal.
fit. Like it's too late to shove that into a Banjo-Kazooie or a Spyro. Like you would have to start with a new IP in my mind if you want to make that fan servicey thing, right? Because this is like Smash Brothers for the Switch, right? Having all of these characters in it that touch from all different games.
Which, by the way, I've always said, especially now with them buying Activision, that Xbox has enough IP and characters to do a Smash if they wanted to.
Yeah, they could do something like they could do a
could
kart racer,
absolutely
they
do
could
that,
do
or
a
a kart racer,
platformer
yeah.
like Astrobot, a fighting game, whatever, with just their characters, or even other characters that are on Xbox, even if they're not exclusive, right?
Right.
But yeah,
I mean, like I said, it's like one of those things that Microsoft, like I said, if they want to have a broad appeal of like all gamers, it's one thing that's not, and again, like a lot of Game Pass games, there are platformers on Game Pass, but not first party stuff, right? It's third party stuff that can eventually go away. And again, I don't think it would be like a AAA crazy high budget game, but I think it could be doable to do something like that. I don't know. I mean, I just think it does fill a gap that Microsoft doesn't have in their current library right now. Obviously, you have your racers, you have RPGs with Fable happening, you have shooters aplenty. You have tons of that, but it's just the one gap that they don't have. And like I said, with them buying Activision, they have the manpower now. They have, if it's not Banjo, it could be Crash or Spyro. It could be something else. But you're right. Like the fan service that's happening in Astrobot, if that wasn't there, would people care as much about this game?
It's still a fun game, but I don't think you would have as many people being as crazy about it.
Right. Especially, there's a lot of fan service. There's a lot. If you're a PlayStation fan, you go nuts when you see all the stuff that's in that game. It's insane.
There's a lot. And a lot of deep cuts as well. You
And
know,
it's
it's
great.
funny. The one game where Xbox does the fan service stuff is a very niche game, and that's Flight Simulator.
Right. But I mean, that's also a Microsoft staple for 30
I know, but they're
years.
like putting in vehicles from their IPs.
Right.
That's the game
true.
they're doing it in. You're not going to like draw a bunch of people into that game. Like that's a very small crowd that's interested in playing that.
Say that
Like, I
Forza.
played it
Forza
for
had
like
like a
30
Warthog
minutes.
get put in it. Yeah. I mean, it's just, you're right though. Like they don't have a current game. If they wanted to do all the fan service stuff like that, they don't have a game they could do that with. They would have to literally create like a new game, almost like a new IP in a way to do that. But if you do that, then there people are just gonna be like, you're copying Astrobot. That's the problem.
Win.
They can't win. Like it is a solid, like you said, if the fan service wasn't there, would it be a 9 or a 10 out of 10?
Maybe.
Might be a 7 or 8 out of 10, maybe. I think it's that little. But again, those are the things that make those games special, right?
Yep.
It's little things like that bump those scores up. So I don't hate on them for doing it. They did a solid job with it.
Yep. All right. Next up, we got the Jiggy Collector. Question for the show. Does Xbox hate mascots? Astrobot is making waves with Sony. We all know Nintendo has numerous mascots. Where are the mascots for the green brand? One day, Banjo is going to come back to life. He's going to stick his arm out of that gravestone and single-handedly sell millions of Xboxes. I can wish, right?
You absolutely can wish, Jiggy Collector.
Yeah.
Just want to be clear, they've had a mascot since the day the Xbox came out. It's Master Chief. Like,
Yeah, that is it. It's just not cute.
it's not cute. It's not cuddly. It's not a platformer.
Maybe that's it. Maybe you need to make a cartoonish version of Master Chief and put him in a platformer and bring all the IPs in. Maybe
Do you
that's
remember?
what you do.
Wasn't there a Halo for like? No, it was a Mega Bloks Halo game. Do you guys remember that? Did you guys ever hear about that? It never came out. It was being worked on, and a demo got released. But it was like when the Lego craze was happening. But Halo had the contract with Mega Bloks, and they actually did have a Mega Bloks Halo game that was in like early stages of being made that like got shown off. I don't think I had a dream and made that happen. I'm pretty sure that's real. I'm going to Google it while you guys
You
do
didn't
that.
hallucinate?
Go on.
Well, look,
I'm
it's
pretty
Sony's
sure
doing
I
it now
didn't.
with
I'm pretty sure I
Horizon.
didn't hallucinate that. But no, like
Now,
that's
if
what
we
I'm
get it,
saying.
be copying, right? Because we got Lego Horizon coming out this holiday.
That's true. That's true. I did not make it up. There is video right here of it being made, and
I
it
believe
is
you.
a real game that happened. Yeah. But like, yeah, they've had a mascot forever. It's Master Chief, and I mean, the thing that sucks is like to an extent, like what have they been putting on a lot of their boxes for the Xbox? You know, because again, that's what you think of, right? Back in the day, you had your box that your console came in, and you had your guy on there, right? Mario was on there, Sonic was on there. And for a while there, it's like Master Chief was on the Xbox box. Like that was your boy. And now it's like, what's on there now? Forza cars. Like you can't say a car is your mascot. But yeah, you're right though. It's just not a cute mascot. They've had mascots since day one though. Yep. But you're right. Banjo is that. But now, like I said, they bought Activision. Crash is that. Spyro is that.
Yeah, it just feels weird to me to have those be the mascot. I don't know.
I would agree.
I know
'cause
they,
it's like
they come
you
with
bought
their
a
own fan
mascot.
base, so like I could see why you would take that as your mascot. You know,
I mean, Crash is in Astrobot. Like, Crash is in Astrobot. Just want to throw that out there. I thought, by the way, good job on Microsoft being cool about that. Like, hey, Crash is a very big part of PlayStation. You can't say it's not. So for him, if he was like not in there because of some weird thing like that, everybody would be like, Microsoft, why didn't you just put him in there? Same thing with Banjo being in Smash. It's like, yes, this makes sense. You know what I mean? Like being cool about your IP like that. But yeah, it's been Master Chief since day one. Sorry, we don't have a cute one. It used to be Viva Pinata used to be there though. That used to be on consoles.
Can we turn Viva Pinata into a nostalgia game?
I mean,
Just
I
put
think
all
for
the
the people
IPs
who
in
played
there?
it. I mean, it would be really cute. They could do like a pinata version of Master Chief.
Yes.
Boom.
Oh my God, you guys figured it out. Just Viva
There we
Pinata.
go. Viva Pinata.
You just make pinatas out of everyone. You want the
Swear to
guys
God.
from freaking, what is it? Gears of War? Pinata.
Yep.
You
Marcus
want
Phoenix, JD Phoenix, Kate. Yeah.
You want Banjo-Kazooie? You want Steve from Minecraft? Pinata? There you go. Just throw it in there. You want what is it? All the people from Overwatch as pinatas? Waboom!
Oh yeah, they do own that now, don't they?
You want dog
That's right.
meat from Fallout? Wabam! You want
Lilith from Diablo.
yeah, waboom! You want all these people from Riot Games because you can get it through Xbox now too. Shabam! Like there you go. All these characters.
Your sound effects have to go in the game though. Like that's a requirement. Your sound effects that you just did, those have to go in the game. There's no way they can't.
Xbox, Microsoft, get in touch. We can make this work. I think this is a great idea. Just because here's the thing. I'm realizing that I'm on a podcast right now with two Americans. I don't know if you guys have this thing called the Bulk Barn. But, okay, so it's essentially a place that you can go to and it has like bulk stuff. Shocker. But one thing that I know when you go to Bulk Barn, there's usually the aisles, and on top of these aisles of like bulk things where you like, it's like those plastic containers and you okay, that doesn't really matter. But okay, the one thing that they have is they have an entire section of just pinatas. And I feel this is a missed opportunity. Microsoft, come on. This is how you get them. You make a pinata game. Just make the Avengers of Xbox, but just pinatas. Why not? Adorable.
Now I really want this, and they're never going to make it.
Oh, man. Guys, it's time for us to make a game. We're going to have to pitch it to Microsoft ourselves.
That's right.
Canadian Costco? It is not Canadian Costco. It's like... it's like, do you want a metric ton of, like, cocoa powder? You go to the Bulk
You said
Barn.
metric. All Americans are already out.
Oh my gosh. You want a bunch of stuff? You go to, you guys, you just need to Google the Bulk Barn, like, store. There you go. I don't know how to explain it to you. You can make peanut butter there. That's pretty cool, but that's not even a part of this question. I'm just saying.
I like
There
peanut
you go.
butter.
Yeah, they have a peanut butter machine. You can go get nuts there, and then you just put them in the peanut butter machine. Wha-bam!
I just did a quick Google search on the Reddit subreddit for Ask an American. Is there an American equivalent to Canadian Bulk Barn?
Is there?
And people are like, places like Whole Foods, Sprouts, and Fresh Market have a selection of bulk items, but I've never heard of a store entirely dedicated to it. So I know what you're talking about. So we have a place called Winco out here. It's pretty awesome. Okay. Winco has like a whole section of just like the big old scoops and the bags and the pens and the tags. Yeah. I've never seen a whole damn store like that, but I get it. Like, how big is this store? Is it Costco sized?
No,
is it like
not
a
even
convenience store sized? Like,
It's like,
talk to me.
Okay, here's the deal. It's kind of like, I would say it would have to be convenience, like a little bit slightly larger than convenience store size. There's usually about 5 to 6 aisles. They usually have one that's like full of candy, one with like a bunch of nuts. There's one side that usually has like a bunch of like herbal stuff that you can get and like different like gluten-free, vegan bunch of things that you like read it and you're like, this sounds expensive. By all means, you want to buy a bunch of saffron. I mean, if you really want to go, if you want to go to town.
Actually, no, I'm a pass.
No, good.
Is okay. Also, Winco here is coffee on there too. Do they have coffee by the bag?
They
like
have
that?
coffee, and they do
Yep.
have coffee like a grind machine, so you can get the beans there, and they does that. They also have like surprisingly a lot of like different types of butters or spreadable items. I don't know why. It's just like massive containers, and then you just like
Yeah.
Guys,
so it's like
I'm
a
trying-
fill your own container store.
You know what?
I'm gonna keep it a stack.
That
I don't
is
want
exactly
bulk
what it's like.
spreadable things. Sorry, that's weird to me.
Sounds.
I don't want to stick. I
germy.
don't want to stick a spoon into a big vat of something spreadable.
Okay.
It seems weird.
Before we get off this topic,
Like, hold on a minute. Like, what are we doing? Here's a 30-gallon drum of peanut butter. Let me just like, what are we doing?
Do you want 5 pounds of maraschino cherries? You go to the bulk barn. You want
I guess.
you want 10 pounds of like Sour Patch Kids and a bunch of like really healthy.
I want that, but like my body says no. We should not do that.
How many signs are all over the place saying no samples? How many signs are they?
So
like,
many.
So
the
many.
Oh
Right?
yeah.
There's so
Rub your little fingers out of here.
There's so many at the Winco too. There's so many signs to keep your hands out of the Sour Patch Kids, you greasy kid. You.
I kid you not. Okay, I've been on like the mad hunt to try to find apple cider like powder for like hot drinks. By the way, sold out everywhere. I don't know what's happened. They like it. I don't know if they've gone out of stock or like just out of like complete sale whatsoever. But I went. I think it was last week, and a woman was standing right in front of the "Do not put your grubby hands in the container" sign, and she puts her hand in and takes a candy and eats it right in front of the sign. And I'm like, this cannot be more clear, woman. There is a sign right in front of you. Now I'm not touching that candy. I wanted that candy. I like candy.
Not anymore.
Not anymore. I don't want your grubby hands in there. Like, oh my goodness.
That's
anyway,
just the one you saw. That's
exactly,
the problem with these
which was
stores.
the
Like I can imagine it in my brain that somebody's like snotty little child rubbed their nose all over their hands and then stuck into the Sour Patch Kids and blah.
Bowsah, you've now ruined the bulk barn for me. I already had
Sorry,
McDonald's ice cream ruined for me this
You're not
week.
gonna do it.
Yeah, just adding the things to. I'm never getting
Just
anymore.
go to Costco and buy the giant already prepackaged bag of Sour Patch Kids.
Don't.
And
even
nobody's dirty
tempt
fingers
me.
have been on the actual candy.
Don't even
Nobody's
tempt
booger
me.
fingers have been all over it. Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
You
I
can
just put a
get
picture in the
metric
chat
ton
of,
cocoa powder at Costco. I guarantee it.
Yeah, but I want but I want apple cider powder, guys. I just really want apple cider.
The one thing I'll say though is like my wife, she goes there to get like the chocolate that you melt to like for like Christmas cookies and stuff.
Yes.
That we go to Winco to get that. We don't go to whatever bulk barn, whatever the hell that's called. We don't go there because that's true. It's true. It's true.
Because it's got too Canadian of a name. You can't go there.
100%. It can't be a barn. You know what I mean? We can't be barn people. You know what I'm
You
saying?
can't go buy bulk things at a
barn.
You gotta buy them at Winco because
Look
that makes
at
perfect
the
sense.
look on V's face. She's like, I've never felt more insulted in my life.
No,
it's
I actually
okay.
love Canadian names because they actually describe the thing that they are.
That's true.
I don't understand why in Canada we just like to name everything
It's
the
perfect.
way that it is.
You don't have to think about it. Like I don't have to look it up. When you said bulk barn, I thought it's either a Costco or it's a place like this.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
Man, one of these days I'm gonna talk about all the weird and wacky like stores
Next
I
pants.
drove by in Vancouver. Yeah, exactly. If you
What
want
are
to
you
ask
talking
me
about?
about
Bulk
it,
foods.
no, it's not even bulk foods. It's just the wild store names I saw that were just incredibly straightforward
Yeah.
and a little bit too
Right.
forward. But here we are.
Okay. All right.
There we
This
go.
sounds like behind the paywall type of content.
Oh, it
Yeah,
sure
exactly.
is. You guys are prepared.
Got paid money
All
to hear
right.
that talk.
Anyways, next up we have Toxic. What's y'all's thoughts on companies using Unreal Engine 5 and current gen? With Avowed being built on Unreal Engine 5 and possibly being limited to 30 frames per second, and Hellblade 2 utilizing Unreal Engine 5. Do y'all want to see more games use it this generation, or wait till the next generation where maybe the consoles can perform better with the engine? Now, my initial thoughts is it's not the engine that's the problem.
Bowsah's correct.
Okay, first of all, Fortnite runs at 60 frames per second on my Xbox.
It sure does. And it looks
And it's an Unreal
beautiful.
Engine 5, and it's got all kinds of craziness in it. So I think what we are seeing this generation in particular is teams not focusing on that part. They're not focusing on the optimization. They're trying to get their game out the door.
Until
For whatever
afterwards.
reason.
The optimization happens 6
Yep.
months after.
Look at Starfield. it doesn't matter what engine you're on. I think Unreal Engine 5 has some phenomenal potential. I'm very excited to see the next Gears because of that. Like, they've been working hard on that engine to make Gears, so we'll see. But I think you're always going to have this problem because even the next generation, the hardware will get a bump, but then we'll make even crazier games. It's always, we're going to be chasing after it. So I don't know. What do you think, Mitch?
You're 100% right. It's just depending on the developer cares to make that a thing. Example, look at Hellblade 2 on PC run 60. I did it. It can run 60. It's not a matter of the console. It can be optimized to run 60 if they choose to. All these games can be optimized to run however they decide to make it. These hardwares. Also, I want to point out, these consoles haven't even been tapped potentially, right? Like, they're not to that point where we're like, oh my God, we're tapped out. We've used all the resources to say, no, they haven't. Like, there's
Because they
plenty
get
of
there
games.
6 months later, all these games are running 60.
Right. So it's just like, hey guys, one, these aren't crazy hard systems to develop for. They're literally just better versions of what we had for the last 10 years, right? Two, you can do it because you do it on PC. You just choose not to optimize it on console because what Bowsah said, you want to get your game out of the door and start getting some money in. That's what you do. And then guess what? 6 months later, when people don't care about it anymore, that's all of a sudden we're like, oh, well, now that we've made all of our money, we can optimize to run 60. It doesn't matter. You guys can choose to do it if you want to. Wukong on PlayStation is Unreal 5. I don't know if that's 60 or not, but like it can be done. It doesn't, like you just said, Fortnite is free. It's Unreal 5. It runs great on consoles because Fortnite cares to make it run great on consoles. Just saying. That is like, and that's like the reason why I started playing Fortnite to begin with, because it was like PUBG, which ran like dog crap on Xbox, or Fortnite, which ran really smooth or really buttery because they cared. So what did I play? The game that they actually cared to develop for. So that's what I'm saying. Like, it's absolutely doable. Companies have to care to do it and make it a point to do it. I think Gears will be that game because Gears forever has always been the like graphical showcase of Xbox. Like when they show you real talk, go play Gears 5 and just play it on like a 4K 120 TV and have you lose your complete mind at how gorgeous that game is. Gears has always been that game, even before Microsoft owned them, of like, we're going to push this thing as hard as we can. We're going to have Unreal pushed as hard as humanly possible. You're going to see this game and freak out. It's always been like that. And I think Gears will be that game because, again, it's fully developed for new consoles. It wasn't stuck in a COVID era where it was half developed for the old stuff. And now it's this stuff. It's brand new for these consoles. Also, let's be real. When it comes out, Microsoft might have a Pro. Who the hell knows? You know what I mean? Like, who knows? But I just think like these consoles haven't even been tapped fully as far as the potential they have. It's just a matter of the developers caring enough to do it. And I get why you don't care to do it because you're like, this will take 6 months to do and we can make money in 6 months and people will shut up. But if that game runs on PC at 60, sorry, there's no reason it can't run 60 on console. You're just choosing not to make it happen.
Yep. What do you think, Fee? You're the PC person in the group.
I sure am. Why are you laughing, Mitch?
You're just like, yes.
Quite nice children.
Yeah.
No, I think I agree with what both of you are saying. I think it's a matter of when a game should. This is where I get frustrated. It's because what they're looking for is benchmarks. And if one of the platforms can hit benchmark, then they're like, release it. We need to make money. And I feel like that's such a, I'm going to say it, it's a lazy way of releasing a game. I think it's one of those things where they really need to look at each console as a whole. And I'm gonna call out a game I really enjoy playing, because I'm not gonna lie, they promised it on a bunch of consoles and then it's currently still not on the Switch, and that's Coral Island, and that's not even a 60 FPS game. That's literally a farming simulator that is just not on the console yet. And I understand that it takes a while for other like particular platforms, and I completely understand that. It's just, it's such a bummer to see a game come out and then not everyone's able to experience it the exact same way. And I understand that consoles and PCs are different, but I feel kind of weird when I'm playing a game on PC and I know that it's like, oh, we get to do all this really cool stuff. We get to have like a ton of fun. We get to do X, Y, and Z. And then it's just like, on console, we don't have that yet. And then they'll get it on console like 6 months down the line. And I'm like, this is ridiculous. And like seeing things like when freaking Cyberpunk came out for the first time, and it was a ball of fire when it came out, and it's not a good one either. It was just, and it was wild that it was working well on PC and Stadia. Not the consoles, but we got it on Stadia and it was working great on Stadia. Like we were living large over here on Stadia land. But it's just wild to me. And I understand that they have deadlines and I understand it costs money to delay things. And I completely get that. But it breaks my brain that they can't just figure out a way to optimize day one. At least like, gosh forbid, have like the basic form of the game and being able to release it, or do something to allow everyone to be able to hit those like benchmarks and not just like, well, we're able to hit it on PC. We don't know about Xbox or PlayStation yet, but may as well just release it now. And it's just like, seriously? Like, why should I be like, and yes, it's a little bit of PC privilege. There's a lot of games that come out that it comes out in 60 FPS on PC, and then it comes out on console, and then it's only 30 for like the first few months. And by that point, they're not really selling any because people have been frustrated about it. And it's just, it doesn't make any sense. And I feel like I don't know what they need to do. Maybe more funding, more playtesting. I don't know, but
I think part of it is all of these games are getting so huge and so realistic that like it's taking them 8 years to make a game. You got to get it out. Like you don't want to skip an entire generation just, to have your game be optimized. So you just get it out. I think they need to like rein that back in a little bit,
It's 100% on the developers that they can choose to do it. But again, it's like, is it good enough to get people to buy it at least? Because you don't want to put out a game that doesn't perform at least 30, because then you're going to get flamed on the internet by how poorly the game runs, aka Cyberpunk. By the way, Cyberpunk came out on Xbox One, and that thing looked like a PS2 game. It was just not looking good. It was bad. So, like, again, it's getting to a point where, is it good enough to kind of shut people up? But I think the other problem, too, is that console people for the longest time have been used to getting a worse version than PC versions, right? This is back in like 360 and like PS3 days and all that stuff, right? Always the PC version was going to look way better. It was going to do all this stuff. But now parity wise, like we're on par with PCs. Like that machine can do 4K 120 right now. It can. It depends on if developers care to make it happen. And again, some developers do it where they're like, we have to do it where we downscale the graphics to get to the 120. And if you have to do that, then you can do that. Again, it's a choice that you guys are choosing to put in the game or not. There's performance modes. And again, now we are getting better. Some games have performance modes, right? Or, fidelity modes, or your weird 40 FPS mode, which I never understood. That's kind of a weird thing to do. But like, I just feel like it's just up to the developers whether or not they care to do it. As simple as it is. I played Hellblade. I played it on Xbox, beat it on Xbox. I was like, cool. It's Game Pass. Let me just download the PC version and just see. And it ran 60 and it ran fine. And I'm just like, you're telling me you couldn't make
monster PC too, but
I do, but at the same time, like some of the monster PCs just now, again, the fidelity I ran it in is different, right? You could run 60 at 1080 on tons of machines, right? Yeah. But my machine, was I running it in 4K 60? Yeah, I was. And it looked gorgeous. But 60 FPS at least, that's like anytime there's a game that has a performance mode where the performance, I always choose that. But there's a problem too, though, when like some games, for example, Jedi Survivor, for example, looked like trash. It just looked uncontrollably bad. I'm just like, I don't get how me putting this performance mode makes this game look this much worse. Again, what happened? That game came out in March. In December, we made updates, fidelity's better, and blah, blah, blah. I'm like, cool story, dude. I don't care about that game anymore. But again, it's simply the developer was like, we need to make these, shareholders happy. Let's get some money in their pockets. Oh, we'll put some updates out here and there later. It just depends. You know who's not going to do that? GTA.
Yeah.
Rockstar's not going to do that. Rockstar's going to be like, guess what? We're going to put out this game exactly how we want it. You'll shut up. You'll wait. You'll like it. And I wish more people had that. The problem is that GTA, they have
money,
an
hand over
infinite
fist.
money truck here, right? So that's the difference, right? But
Which
I mean,
is similar to Fortnite too. Like,
which is similar to Fortnite. Exactly. They have that infinite money loop that just comes in.
But I think, oh, sorry, Mitch, continue.
No, you're good. Go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, I feel like there have been games that, and I saw a comment and I apologize. It was, it's right here. So I think we plateaued because of realistic visuals, expansive open worlds and long games. I agree, but at the same time, there's like games like, for example, and I know I love talking about this game, but like Baldur's Gate 3, for example, they've been releasing content since that game came out last year, but that game, when it first came out, phenomenal. It was fantastic. And I think it's because it was a lot of people who loved the game. They loved the story. They were able to release this game and then they were able to build upon it. Whereas like, I do understand when it comes to game creation, it's not just the people that are like pushing out this game because they want money. There's a ton of people who love that particular game and who've put passion and hundreds of hours working in it. And it's just, I can only imagine as someone who has worked on this game and like things like Concord that just came out. There's people who made that game, who love that game. They worked on it for years and years. And then they're just like, well, we need to release it out now to make some money. So let's go. Like the shareholders. And I feel like if they really like need, like at the essence, gaming needs to look at like just overall groundwork and like figure out like what can we do differently, because right now we're just kind of releasing games to make shareholders happy and not so much how the game's going to perform when it first comes out. And I think there's this disconnect there that really needs to be evaluated, because it's just, there's so many of these large games that have been coming out that have that problem, and they just keep on saying like, oh well, we tried, we'll release it in 2 to 3 weeks, and it's just like, your game just released. You can't just play this like, let's give give us 2 to 3 weeks. If you need 2 to 3 weeks, just say it. Don't just post this like little like, and I talked about this earlier on this week with a few people, is like, don't just take flex tape and then put it on like a 50-gallon container of water and then hope it sticks. Like, that flex tape isn't going to stay there long, even though they really try to sell it as it's going to fix everything, it's going to hold everything together. And it's just like, you're not going to be able to go across that pond in the flex tape boat. I'm not going to lie. I don't think it's going to work. And I apologize for flex. I'm not trying to hate on you, flex tape, but it's just like, it's just ridiculous to me in this idea that like they can just put these like little like bandages on it and then be like, well, the gamers accepted it 15 times already, they'll accept it the 16th time. And I think it's just unacceptable at this point. As someone who doesn't play really hyper realistic like visual games, like of course I love looking at them, they don't love me, but it's disheartening to see like these major corporations and like major companies are releasing these games, but then we have like indie games that are released by one person and they do phenomenally.
Yep. I'll tell you what.
Go ahead.
Remember when Stadia came out and like their big selling point was they could run games at 4K 60? Like they could stream them to you with that. And then like all the developers put their games on and they didn't run 4K 60 and the internet lost their ever-loving minds. And now the PS5 and Xbox Series S said they could do 4K 60 and we're still not getting it. But no one's really losing their mind. We're not saying that Xbox and PlayStation should die because of it, that they lied to us and we want our money back and all this.
Just communicate. Just communicate that you're like need to.
I think the hardware is capable.
Yes.
100%.
There are games that are 4K 120 that I've played on this console.
Yep.
They're out there. You can do it. It's just a matter of, things. There's part of me that does like sort of agrees. Like, I think we plateaued because of realistic visuals, expansive open worlds, and long games. I think developers we've accepted a certain amount, but that's why I just keep saying GTA 6. I believe Rockstar is literally going to come out with this game and it's going to be that earth shattering, like, look what is possible type of game. Like Red Dead's that game. Like Red Dead came out and was like, look at this insane open world. Look at how gorgeous it is. Look at these characters. Look at these missions. Look at X. You could say all those things. And that's what I'm saying. Like the plateau part of it, I think is just certain developers plateauing. Example, how many Ubisoft games feel identical? I feel like Ubisoft is like, here's your formula, just put in samurais instead of Vikings. It'll work. They're not like the developers themselves. Right. And they still sell a bunch of games. But I think like it takes a game to disrupt a whole industry. And for me, Rockstar has always been that company where they're like, again, they don't care what anyone says. They put anything in their games and they don't care. They're like, oh, we're going to put the worst things in. Oh, you can do so many things in GTA that are immoral. So what? We're Rockstar. We can do it. They have that kind of like level of, and they have the level of respect of everybody who just shuts up, waits, because we all know when we get something from them, it's going to be groundbreaking, earth-shattering, console selling, game-changing. And I just think like most developers are kind of just like plug and play with a lot of stuff. That same Sony engine for God of War and Uncharted and Horizon and that third-person engine that they use all the time. Again, not saying those games aren't good, but it's just like we've gotten used to a lot of companies doing plug and play with different IP. And you just need a company to just not care and show up and kick everybody in the mouth. And I really, like I said, GTA 6 is going to make a lot of people go, wait, you can do that, with this game, with this level of detail, with this graphics, with this storyline, with this.
Hope they do. I hope they
really do.
Put it out there,
so
and
too.
then we can look at everyone else and be like, what's wrong with you?
Why aren't you? Now, again, they have that infinite money loop that is GTA Online.
Mm-hmm.
But also, I mean, you can look at Microsoft and be like, hey, guys, you guys aren't necessarily broke either.
Exactly.
Like, just saying, Sony,
It's true.
I understand that you go through tough times with every other division besides PlayStation, but PlayStation makes a lot of money. How come we're not here yet? Like, how come, we're not there yet? I'm just saying, like.
Yeah, why are the hardware developers not being the ones to optimize for their hardware?
Exactly. Like Gears, that's what I'm saying. Gears 6
should be it,
or Gears not 6, E-Day. I think E-Day will be that like graphical powerhouse because again, I think they're going to just optimize the hell out of it. They already know Unreal Engine. And again, they're just going to be like, push that machine as hard as it goes without melting. Like just make that thing
just a little bit.
Just a little bit. Turn into a jet engine just a little bit. But it takes developers that care. Not about shareholders necessarily, but like we're going to put out a product and you'll shut up until we put it out.
And we say developers, we don't mean individual person banging on keyboard. We mean the corporate people making the decisions that says you're going to do content. And then when we think it's good enough, you're going to release it. And then you can fix all the problems.
Yeah.
Right.
We're not talking about the people who are working on it. We're talking about the people who are sitting in a boardroom, looking at money and just thinking about how much money they're going to make. It's not the people who are spending countless hours working on it.
Right. Like the head honcho who's in charge of that game going live. Mm-hmm. Like there's very few developers that have a head honcho up at the top. That's like, no, we're not putting this out. Stop asking. Shut up. Like we'll put it out when it's ready. Like, and those are the type of people that you can tell, like, they know that quality is over. If I make a quality product, people will buy it and everybody will shut up when it comes out. And they just know that. And like I said, there's very few developers that have like a CEO at the top level that I feel is like that. Unfortunately, Microsoft is kind of one of those because Halo came out and it wasn't in the best shape ever. Granted, they delayed that game a whole year, which is crazy amount of balls to do that, to be honest. That's your number one IP and you delayed it a whole year and it still came out in the way it was. It was kind of like, ooh, okay. I just hope, like I said, it gets better over time, but we need more CEOs that don't look at shareholders first and they look at quality first. And there's very few out there that do.
Exactly.
All right. That's it for the community questions.
Okay.
Thanks, guys.
What else is new?
I really appreciate all those questions. Thank you for getting us all fired up. Because
thank you for just making me want GTA 6 more. I'm gonna go watch the trailer again. Be right back.
I'm gonna have to re-download GTA 5, get into my tank, and just get 5 stars. You know what I mean? Just causing chaos.
The only thing that's weird is like when you see that graph of like the Rockstar output of like PS2. It was like GTA 3, Vice City, San Andreas, Bully, blah 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 blah. Game. GTA 5. Like Ghost Town up until Red Dead, and then Ghost Town up until GTA 6.
Yeah.
Because they can do
But
that.
guess what? People literally say GTA 5 and Red Dead are like the best games they've ever played in their life. Literally, people say like Red Dead's my favorite game of all time, or GTA 5 is my favorite game of all time.
Yeah.
You gotta have a company that cares.
Yep.
Exactly.
Love it.
10 out of 10.
All right, Fee. I've been telling you for 2 months that it's been spooky season. I think you're finally on board that it is spooky season now.
I sure am.
What kind of games are you looking forward to play here this spooky season?
Guys, we're taking the pin out of a game that we were talking about earlier. I am so excited to start playing Dead by Daylight again. I play this game around spooky season. I usually play it like year round as well. I usually like to play it with a group of people, of course. I will play with randos online as a killer, not usually as a survivor because it's just too chaotic. But it is... I love this game so much. I love this IP. I love the killers. I love the story. The whole premise of me loving this game so much is the story and background and how everything is connected. The entity, take me. It's just such a good game. It's so fun. For context, for people who don't know what this game is, it is a 4v1 killer versus survivors. There is an eternal being called the Entity that gets its power from blood and death. And so essentially the entire premise is these killers are running around trying to capture the survivors, and the survivors are trying to escape. And it is just so good. I love the fact that they constantly are bringing in new IPs. They just recently had a Castlevania collaboration. They've had like Stranger Things in the past. They have Ghostfaced in there. They have so many other like fantastic, like essentially like the faces of horror is the best way to put it. But they also have phenomenal like original characters. Like the Huntress, so good. Her entire backstory is gut-wrenching. The Plague, literally one of my favorite characters. Like, one of my favorite characters origin-wise ever. Even though her ability is one of the grossest things, and I don't like it at all. It's just, ugh. And there's some characters in that game, even though I've played it for hundreds of hours at this point, where I get genuinely terrified when I see them. Like, the twins, I never... Guys, a creepy undead baby thing chasing you down and attacking you? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. I'm not cool with it. But no, when I think of spooky season, that's like the first game I think of, because not only do I get to have a lot of fun with it, but I also get to experience that fun with my friends and think of like ways to survive. Fun fact, I did an actual, I was a commentator at a Dead by Daylight tournament once. I love this game that much, and I'm so excited to get back into it. So I will definitely be checking it out this season. That one for sure. I definitely also like kind of like the creepy story. Like there's obviously I talked about Call of Cthulhu as a game I want to play this year, and it's on my list of games I need to play. I want to also I've been thinking about checking out Alan Wake. I've never played Alan Wake before, and I think that that's probably a really good shout out. And then when I was making the thumbnail for this episode, I was thinking about playing Evil Within because I've been wanting to play that game so badly, and I've been putting like just a little bit of a pin in it. So I think that's also why I haven't really been playing games recently, because I've been trying to figure out like what to play next. And now I've like I downloaded Dead by Daylight again. I'm just like, I'm gonna have to play this game. I want to go. So I am 100% down to play that as an after podcast game one night. It is so much fun. And if you guys want to play with me, it's Zeranix on Steam. I play it quite regularly when I like get the addiction or the bug to play it again. So yeah, I don't know. I like it's like a full spectrum. I know, and like it's like really like creepy, gory stuff to like Costume Quest, which is like really cutesy around Halloween. But no, I love a good story. I love a good background. I love a good why are they doing this? And so I think those are the types, like quite honestly, all three of the games that I talked about, other than Costume Quest, of course, are very story-driven games. Even Dead by Daylight, even though a lot of people don't really pay attention to the lore, they pay attention to like the killers and like going around and doing stuff like that. Also, they have a romance game that I have that I need to download and play it, but that's not really horror like spooky season because it's like a beach.
Depending on who you find on the beach, though. Ugh.
I mean, yeah, the Huntress is there. A bunch of the other characters. By all means. No, I don't know. I'm already prepped for spooky season, as we see over here with all my skulls and stuff like that.
Right.
So I'm really excited. So I'm going to try to branch out, because usually I try to avoid horror games for the most part, because I get too emotionally invested in games and I get too hyper focused on it, and so I usually get way too scared playing them. But I'm here for it this season. Sign me up for all the horror games. At least they have to have a good plot, though. Good plot, or I'm not interested.
Fair enough.
What do you think, Mitch? You got some spooky games?
So I don't necessarily play spooky games particularly. I mean, I like playing survival horror games in general. Like the Resident Evil remake games are fantastic. Evil Within, you had mentioned it. Here's what I'll tell you. Evil Within 1. So gameplay wise, both are great. 1 and 2 play just like RE4, like the over the shoulder camera, the inventory. Like it's basically Resident Evil 4, which you can't hate on because that's awesome. What I can hate on is that first story is just weird and kind of all over the place. Second one story, significantly better. Liked it quite a bit, actually. Like I definitely recommend Evil Within to people. Those have been, I mean, I don't know if people check them up. They were like free last year on Epic Game Store. I think they're on Game Pass because they're Bethesda games. Like, please go check those out. Because like I said, the gameplay of it is very much RE4 over the shoulder. The camera system, it's really good gameplay. It's just the story of the first one is kind of just like weird and wacky. Like, just like what is happening? Why is all of a sudden there's these lots of jump scares that will scare the hell out of you? Lots of crazy looking demons that were also very gory and weird looking. But yeah, like those are definitely games that I would definitely recommend. If you have not checked them out, like I said, they're on Game Pass. Go play them. They're fun. As far as like I said, like Resident Evil remakes 2, 3, 4, like all of those are super good. I want to eventually, like, Halloween doesn't come around, or October spooky season doesn't come around, I immediately think of playing spooky games in particular. I'm just kind of recommending ones that I've played. One thing that I would not mind trying, because I have an Oculus, is something spooky in VR, but I'm too much of a baby to do that on stream because I'll probably cry like a baby. I'll probably scream like a not like a grown man with a beard and glasses and a dad. I'll be like, ah! It'll be bad. But yeah.
I've played Resident Evil 7 on VR on stream. And I'm going to tell you right now, I spent 40 minutes outside of that white Jeep and saying she's not worth it. And I legitimately was just like, she is not worth this. She is not worth.
She could be dead in a ditch and I'm fine with it.
And then not only that, I get into the house and then this girl has the audacity to attack me. No way. This is not worth it, and turn off the game. And I haven't played it since. Also, I do just want to answer a quick question. It was like, Star Athena said, I'm looking for a non-horror spooky game. I can tell you right now, there's a game coming out in literally 6 days called Rekka, and it's based off of like northern, like European folklore, where it's about a girl who finds out that she has some sort of like witchy abilities, and there's like the witch in the woods, and there's a massive house that like essentially a house that looks like it's from like Howl's Moving Castle. It's very spooky holiday vibe, like spooky vibes, but it's not horror. So you're trying to figure out like why does this girl have some? Yeah, it's the Baba Yaga. Exactly. Yeah, it's coming out in 6 days. Reka. I can put a...
So are we looking for creepy games that just aren't gory? Is that kind of like...
Well, I'm thinking another great ones that I was going to mention is Costume Quest 1 and 2. They're on Game Pass. It's like your little kids dressing up for Halloween, collecting treats, and there's some other stuff going on. Like that's like a tiny little RPG-ish adventure game. Perfect for Halloween season. This looks... interesting.
Yeah, 1 second. So 1 second. So this is Rekka. This is the house, and you. By the way, you get to decorate your house, and there's a character creator. But either way, two of my favorite things. But you go around and you collect different things, and you're like you're exploring this world. You're essentially a girl that's been essentially rejected by a bunch of things, and then yeah, I played the demo. It's so good. It's so beautiful. The music's haunting, and it's not like it's spooky, but it's not creepy. You know, like it's not gory. You know what I mean?
Yep. Neat.
That's what I'm saying. Some of the games that I'm talking about are obviously hella gory. Evil Within is like, yeah, that's some messed up stuff.
That's not what Star's looking for.
No,
another
for sure.
one I have to recommend is Guilt. It was formerly a Stadia exclusive. It's now out other places. This is like kid's first scary game, right? Like your primary weapon is a flashlight, if that gives you any indication of how scary it's going to be. It's a little creepy, but overall, yeah. No gore, not horror at all. Yeah, you're just this little girl.
Like,
your cousin goes
suspense
missing,
games.
and you're like you're in the town, but something's weird going on. And you're trying to find your little cousin. But yeah, there's a little bit of creepiness going on, but it's not scary. Not a horror game at all. So that's one I would shout out.
I might actually play something like Alan Wake though, because I've never played Alan Wake before, and I mean that's a good thing to like maybe play during spooky season. I kind of went to a list of other games. Like, 'cause the thing is, I'm thinking like games that like creep you out, but don't necessarily like aren't scary or gory or violent. I mean, real talk, like Hellblade was weird hearing those voices in my ears. That was just weird. So it's not necessarily, it's just like spooky, but it's not gory or, I mean, kind of. A little bit, not that much. Not Resident Evil or Evil Within. It's gory, violent, but not gory. Violent, but not gory, right? So yeah, I mean, all the ones that pop up that I know a lot of people got super creeped out about was Alien Isolation. That scared the hell out of people. I know a lot of people. You know, like I said, that's. Is it gory? It's just really crazy to like be hunted down by those aliens. Yes. So, I mean, just depending on the type of game, I guess, that you're looking for. But yeah, like
another shout out for one that's not crazy scary or anything would be Dredge. So fishing game, but there's definitely something kind of spooky going on there. So
a one that I'm really a huge fan of, and it doesn't have too much like crazy movement or anything, is Inscription. That's a really good game. It is spooky. It's not overly like it's not over the top like scary, but there's a lot of like spooky kind of like what's going on here kind of elements. So I would definitely check it out for sure. Or like Loop Hero if you're like looking for something that's like kind of like dark but not over the top kind of crazy. That's definitely something that you could go and check out. I'm trying to think of some other games. I should check because I once again, I have a tendency to just buy a bunch of games that I think that look cool, and then I just end up not playing it. So here we are needing to fix that. I'm just like, the first thing I see is Dead by Daylight. If you really want to like,
there's a lot of that.
I guess there's like, if you really kind of want to branch out and you're looking for more of a spooky game, you can look into things like, Until Dawn or like The Quarry or the Anthology series. Like those are like really good, like if you want to be more creeped out, or like of course with the Anthology series, if you want to play a game in one sitting, if you're looking for something a little bit more consumable and you're not looking for like a 30 to 50 hour game, that could be a really good option for everyone if you're interested. Yeah, I don't know. I just like there's also games that like I consider like almost not so much like spooky season, but I always think of like detective games are kind of like fall vibes. So if you're looking for like a turn-based, I guess, well, not turn-based, but like first person, there's always like, not first person, my goodness, point and click adventures. There's a bunch that are out there that you could go and check out. I know there was a game that was like something noir. It's like an animal game that they had to change the name of it recently, and I'm trying to remember what it's called now, but it's like, in essence, it's like a raccoon detective and they're trying to figure out what's happening in the city. The art style looks fantastic, and I will have to like look it up. I apologize because they did change the name for some reason, and I don't want to be rude and use the original title of the game because I think it was changed for a particular reason. So things like that. So detective kind of weird stuff. There's also like, of course, if you want to do like more like story-based ones, I know that there's like the Vampire Therapist that came out relatively recently. That's almost like a narrative talking game where you talk to different characters and you're kind of peeling away what's going on with them. And it has like a very like dark gothic kind of theme to it, because obviously you're literally a vampire therapist having discussions with people. So yeah, I'm
Another game on
excited.
Game Pass, Limbo. That's creepy.
Limbo.
That's super
Yeah.
creepy. Yeah. Again, violent to your imagination if you want to think about how violent it could be, but
Yeah.
Not graphic.
Yeah, not graphic, but definitely violent, but not like overly gory or anything like that. Also, The Quarry is on Game Pass, just a reminder. So
Yes.
that's one right there too. I'm kind of looking at the Game Pass games as I scroll down to see other ones. Obviously, there's like Dead Space, Prey, Doom, but those are all super gore fest. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, sorry, continue, Bowsah.
Not on Game Pass, but Little Nightmares always gets a shout for me for spooky season.
Ooh, yeah.
I recently played through 1 again, and part 2 is going to be up next for me.
And 3's coming out next year, so I know some people that are
Yeah.
super stoked for that.
Isn't it like it's a different developer doing 3, and the Little Nightmares people are doing something else? They just announced it. There's something weird going on there.
That's kind of weird, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, also, if you want to think about the Walking Dead games, like all those are story-based, zombies, still not graphic, but scary, intense, story-driven. All the Walking Dead games are on Game Pass.
Yeah. There is a like, it's not on Game Pass, but it is 5 separate games. They're called the Blackwell series. It is a point and click. It's about a story about a young woman who finds out that she can now see ghosts, and she has to figure out what's going on. It is, as a heads up, fair warning, it is heart-wrenching because some of the story plots are incredibly, like, you're finding out why these people have passed away. And so it's sad, guys. I cried like a little baby at the end of the last game, and they're not too long games either. So I would definitely recommend checking those out, because it's by Wadjet Eye Games. They are very, like, they're pixel games, but I would highly recommend them just because I was not expecting the twists and turns that happen in them, and they're spooky because there's ghosts involved, and she has a ghost companion who is a 1920s gangster, essentially. Pretty fun times.
Nice.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, so it looks like Little Nightmares 2 is done by Tarsier Studios, but then they were acquired by Embracer, but Bandai Namco held the rights to Little Nightmares. So now Supermassive is working on Little Nightmares 3.
Doesn't Supermassive, but they've made something good before, I thought. I'm trying to remember
Until
that name's
Dawn,
familiar.
Dark Pictures Anthology, The Quarry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they got a good background
Yeah, I'm sure
to
it'll
be
be
able to
fine.
do that.
But
Yeah.
it'll be
Great.
different, right?
That is
And
definitely
the
weird. I didn't
Tarsier
realize that.
is working on a new game called Reanimal.
Is it kind of a similar vein of Little Nightmares type of deal?
I think it's going to be. I'm not super sure on what that's going to be, but they just announced it, I think, what it was called.
Also, I don't know when this is coming out. Again, Silent Hill remake is supposed to happen soon. That's October 4th
There you go.
of this year. So
There's
Silent
some
Hill,
spooky.
Silent Hill is very spooky. Silent Hill is very, very spooky and very weird. And again, a wild story. But as I was saying, story wise, like Evil Within and Silent Hill are kind of in the same vein of like, what the hell is even going on right now? Like, I don't even know what's happening. 2, like I said, I think that was the biggest complaint about 1, but then 2, they locked it in, and like 2 is top notch. 2's good stuff.
Yep.
I feel like I failed. I didn't mention Darkest Dungeon.
Oh,
I've made mistakes.
We got to replace you
guys.
now.
They do. I've made a grave error. I feel like that's a huge spooky season vibe type of game. And I just want to say, shout out to both of you as well, coming in with games that are like, obviously we have like super gory games, but then for some of us, we're not huge into gore, but we want the spooky vibes, which I think is something that we are taking the opportunity to really think outside the box, because I know when people think like spooky season video games are like Resident Evil, Silent Hill, which by the way, Silent Hill is depressing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Amnesia, all that stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
Another game that's like, it's not necessarily spooky, but it's the vibe of it. Castlevania games. I mean, it's Dracula. It's a castle. And they just had that Castlevania collection come out for all the DS games. I cannot tell you how good those games are. All those like Castlevania DS games, Dawn of Sorrow, like they just had that collection get announced. They just had the collection come out for all consoles. Those games rock. They're really good. Plus the way that they did the emulation of like a DS game where both screens mattered, the way they laid it out, I saw like a screenshot of it and I was like, that's perfect. Like the way they did it is awesome. So yeah, like again, not necessarily horror, but just theme. It's Castlevania, it's a castle, it's, you know, Dracula and spooky stuff. And that's another one. But like I said, super duper good games. All those Castlevania 3DS games are great, or DS games.
Yeah. I Can't See says Pumpkin Jack. I haven't completed it. I haven't played a whole lot of it, but I did get it for free on Steam a while back and played a bit. I mean, you're a dude with a jack-o'-lantern for your head, so I mean,
right.
That's got to be
what more Halloween do you
on
want?
theme, right? It's kind of like
3D
platforming elements, but also like action adventure type stuff. So maybe I'll jump back into that one as well.
Also recommend the Diablo series, of course.
Yeah.
Again, that's more like the tone of just like the set piece you're in, not necessarily being scary on purpose. But I mean, those can still put you in a mood, right? Like you want something spooky and like a set piece. That's definitely something you can do.
Yep. Indeed.
What was the name of that one Game Pass game that came out that was just a gore fest? I don't remember what it was. It was like a first person game. I think it came out like last year. It was like just blood, gore, guts. Just, it was like overkill in a way. I'm trying to remember it. I'll find it. But it was just such a
was
weird.
It Torn?
Yes. The game that just was like, it's like, so overboard that it was like upsetting. I'm just like, I don't want to see it that badly. Come on. Like tone it down a little bit. Relax.
Yeah, I did not complete that game, even though it was on Game Pass.
Right. Oh, yeah. Lots
He's
of options.
Muted,
lots of
so
stuff.
we can't
He's
hear.
muted. Yeah, don't worry about it.
You know what? It's better that I was muted for what I just said. So here we are.
Jeez.
All right. To catch you after show for that stuff. Oh.
No, I just talked about the type of game Scorn is, and it is a lot. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's body horror. That's the end of it.
Yeah, basically.
That's a good
it's hostile to video. It's hostile to video game. Yeah. Like some people like that stuff, and I was just like, I remember seeing that, and I'm just like, ew.
It makes
it's just it's a lot. I'm good.
Yep.
Lots of spooky stuff on all platforms. So regardless of what you got, go play something.
True. Which is why we need to play some like Dead by Daylight, because you can play it on
Game Pass.
Bowsah.
Yeah.
On Game Pass.
On Game Pass.
Also, I appreciate a game that at its core is so good that they can just plug and play IPs into it and it works.
Yeah.
Like I appreciate that. Like it's basically like the Fortnite of horror IPs. It's like we could put a Demogorgon and Michael Myers and Freddy and Ghostface and Chucky and blah blah blah, and they're just like everybody's like cool.
Because it makes sense.
Sounds good.
Because it's essentially like you're just feeding the entity, like essentially like the souls of like essentially the damned. So all you're doing is just doing this in essence. So it makes sense. And I think that's why it does so well. It's because overall, not only mechanic wise, but like story wise, it just makes sense why they're bringing these characters into the game. Like it's not just like, oh, we're just gonna randomly bring in Michael Myers, Joe, like just for like giggles. It's like this is how Michael Myers like contributes to the entity, and like this is why he's doing X, Y, and Z. And I think that's what sold me on the game in the first place. And I think that's just a really cool way of doing it. And honestly, I like the fact that they don't make it gimmicky. It's not just, like obviously some of these killers are very gimmicky, mind you. Hands up, I'm not gonna lie, they are. Yeah, exactly. But at the same time, it's just like, it's not just to try to sell games. It's like, this is how, like, there's times when I'm reading like either a book or I'm watching television and I'm like, this character would make so much sense in Dead by Daylight. Like, I wouldn't be shocked if we see like Smile, for example, in that. And if you don't know what that is, I'm not explaining that on this podcast. There's just
Cool
like
movie.
so many different there's a bunch of like different killers or like different characters in horror, but also like just overall that would fit really well in that game, because they've branched out from like huge horror. Like, of course, like Castlevania has that like gothic horror aspect to it, but it's not the same as like Freddy Krueger or like the
Right.
Demogorgon from Stranger Things, which RIP people trying to get that. I have it, but whatever. But
Sucks to suck. Y'all don't.
but no, I think that's how they do so well. And I am just really excited to get back into it, because like I said, the stories, guys, they're so good. Just so masterfully done.
I also appreciate how like an IP, instead of making their own game and wasting all this time, development and all that stuff, they can just be like, yo, Dead by Daylight, y'all can make this work, right?
Yeah.
Cool. License our IP. Here you go. Have a good day. And everybody wins, because it's like, oh, I have a Ghostface game. I have a Freddy Krueger game. I have a Michael Myers. And it's just like, kind of like, that's why I appreciate games like that. And same thing with Fortnite, right? Fortnite score is awesome. I can plug in Marvel, DC, Star Wars, this, and it all just works. It's cool.
Yep.
And that's what I appreciate about Dead by Daylight, because at its core, it's a good enough game for IPs to respect it enough to go, we respect it. We just give you our IP, we trust that you'll do good things with it. And it's good for everybody, because like I said, all these IPs, would there have been a Stranger Things game without, Dead by Daylight just kind of plug and playing what they did? Probably not. We already tried Friday the 13th, which worked for a certain amount of time. It's cool, but I like how it's such a good franchise. Obviously, I have not played it. I cannot confirm or deny if it's good or bad. All I know is it's good enough franchise to where it's like got enough people and eyeballs on it for IP to just go, here, license our stuff, please.
Yeah,
That's good.
so good. I'm
Soon
so
do an
excited.
after show though, because I am down to play it. I'm down to play it. I'm down to try it. And it sounds like a good after show for the Xbox Drive for spooky season. So
Absolutely. Well, you guys will play the survivors. I'll play the killer, and it's going to be fine. Everyone.
I don't
will be
like where this is
perfect.
going.
Everyone's going to have a lot of fun. It's going to be great.
Sounds like you're having a lot
I'm
more
sacrificing a lot. The killer's
Yep.
playing first person. Survivors are in third.
You don't seem too upset about it though.
No.
I'm okay.
She likes
Something
murder.
deeper there. Something deeper there.
See all those
knows?
skulls behind her?
Murder.
Jeez.
Flip that.
Yeah. Let me put that in the chat.
Flip
Murder.
that.
Oh my god.
All right. Does anyone have any other spooky games we need to shout out?
Nah.
I can't. I mean, if you want like really weird, there's the Fears of Fathom series that like became super popular last year, and everyone was like super into Ironbark Lookout, which is you're playing a Firewatch person, but it's not Firewatch. It's like what Firewatch, like people thought Firewatch was going to be, and this is what it is. Like, this is completely different because this is just creepy. And yeah, I don't know. I think that's probably just overall, there's too many, guys. There's too many
Yep,
games.
there's a ton.
There's too many. Just check them out. We talked about a lot of games ranging from Costume Quest all the way to some of the most gory games on the, like, specifically that you can play, like, I don't score. The moment that you mentioned it, I was just like, I hope no one mentions this game. And you guys did. And now we're here. Doom.
Yep.
Yeah.
OG Doom. Yeah.
Yeah, OG Doom. Yeah, like I said, I mean, it's OG
Yeah,
Doom.
go play
it's
Doom
gory.
1 and 2.
Yeah, go play. Yeah, again, Game Pass just came out. Remakes, tons of content,
Yep.
tons of side stuff. Go do that.
Exactly.
That's what you should do.
Absolutely. Sounds great.
That's it, though.
All right.
Sounds
Before
good.
we go, let's thank our lovely supporters over on Patreon. We have our Game Pass Ultimate Producers, the official tier of the Xbox Drive. Jonathan Brown, the man behind the music on this show and the PlayStation Drive. You can find his music at linktree/pme.jib. Cwagmire, who reminds you that the best babes are Xenobabes. And TechMike. TechMike does not have a slogan, but we need to work on that. So, coming soon. Our platinum producers, CowboyDangerD, Peje EP, Solo, Smokin Joe, The Captain, and Tim Paullin. And our gold members, Adam K, Anna, Awesome Dave, BobLoblaw, Brad Moore, Brian Reese, Cecily Carrozza, Dan and Luma, Dannohh, Drellesh, Emily O'Kelly, Hoppel, Jan32, Kia Savoy, Liger Woods, Old Mr. Frump, Patrice Millette, Shane Erickson, The Jiggy Collector, and Tim Alf. Mitch, where can people find you on the internet?
Everywhere, Mitch Power 1116. I actually turned my merch store into a website that's just
nice.
MitchPower1116.com. So you can just
There
go
you
there
go.
and get links to everything. I'm trying to make it look pretty, so forgive me if it looks basic. I recently hit 1,000 followers on Twitch, so I appreciate everybody who showed up and helped me get to that goal. Thank you all. I love you all so much. What's my next goal? I don't know. Don't ask. But no, Mitch Power 1116 on everything, or just go to MitchPower1116.com.
Nice. Fee, where can people find you?
People can find me on Steam at Zoranix. And if you want to play Dead by Daylight, just let me know. I will play with you. Just
She
need to-
will kill
She won't
you.
murder you.
Okay. First of all, I will play Survivors with everyone else. I'm just saying.
Everyone, she just wants to kill us. Okay, got
Oh,
it.
yeah.
No, Bowsah, I
After
don't
my
wanna kill
comments,
you.
totally makes sense, right?
Yeah, Bowsah,
Yeah.
I don't want to kill
Thanks.
you. It's
Awesome.
okay.
Oh, what the hell, man?
Also, you can find me over at twitch.tv/Zoranix. I've taken a little bit of a hiatus. I talked about it a little bit on the Pants podcast, and here I am this weekend, gonna start streaming again, gonna play some games. I have some character creators I need to go through, guys, and
There
this
you
is a
go.
good opportune time. So here we are, gonna play some character creators and Dead by Daylight. We're here for it. Maybe another game, who knows? We'll see. But that's where you can find me on the internet. Also, I guess Twitter, also known as X. There you go. All Zoranix. All Zoranix.
All right. There you go. If you want to find me anytime in the near future, you better be on PlayStation Network because I'm playing Astrobot. Over there, I'm Bowsah13. Same thing on Xbox and X. Bowsah in the Discord. Get in there.
Ooh.
I want everyone who's listening in the comments on the YouTube video, give us your favorite spooky season games. And if you're not watching on YouTube, get in the Discord and put it there in the Xbox Drive channel.
Please.
You know what to do. But thanks everyone for joining us. We'll see you next week.
Bye-bye.
Bye. If he's gonna murder me.
Thanks so much for tuning into this episode of the Xbox Drive. Now, before you drive off, be sure to like and subscribe on YouTube and follow Carpool Gaming on socials. Don't forget that we've got some awesome Xbox Drive merch on carpoolgaming.com, and you can also support the show on Patreon at patreon.com/carpoolgaming for exclusive content. Links to everything are in the description. We'll see you next week.